When Guiyun's sworn brothers tried to drag me into that abandoned building, I fought desperately and begged my childhood friend to save me. Xiaomin curled his lips in mockery. This is what you owe Yun. Tomorrow you'll go tell the dean to withdraw from the graduate recommendation program, or face the consequences. Beside him, Guiyun's eyes crinkled with triumphant glee. They finally dragged me to the rooftop of that abandoned building, surrounded by leering men and prepositioned cameras. In desperation, I headbutt the man behind me in the nose, broke free, and leaped off the derelict rooftop. Amidst the bone-shattering pain, I thought I heard someone scream, but I was already dead. When my eyes opened again, I decided madness might be the better choice. Sun Jia, why aren't you drinking the milk tea Yun got for you? A voice dripping with coldness snapped me back to reality from the darkness. I'm still alive. A young couple stood before me. Tears welled in her eyes as she stubbornly pressed her lips together, thrusting a cup of mango milk tea toward me. Beside her stood a tall boy with frosty eyes and chiseled features, a face I'd known since childhood, my once trusted childhood friend Xiaomin. It took every ounce of my self-control not to strangle them both on the spot. The bone-shattering pain still lingered, while terror of death and bottomless rage continued to blaze through my mind. 1. I found myself back on that day when Guiyun framed me for stealing her necklace, turning everyone against me online. I hadn't survived. I'd been sent back to the beginning. Senior, please don't blame Sun Jia. It's my fault. She wanted to try on my jade necklace. I should have let her, even though it was my grandmother's heirloom. Guiyun's eyes were artfully rimmed with just the right shade of rouge, her tears clinging to her lashes in that perfectly pitiful way. Every passing guy couldn't help but glance at her, then turn their disapproving stares toward me. Xiaomin protectively wrapped an arm around her shoulders, his gaze toward me turning ice-cold. Sun Jia, haven't you caused enough trouble? Yun didn't even blame you, and it wasn't her who reported you to the school, it was me. If you've got a problem, take it up with me. I chuckled softly, taking the mango milk tea from Guiyun's hands before leisurely popping open the lid. A glimmer of triumph flashed in Guiyun's eyes. Xiaomin paused briefly, then relaxed his features with visible relief. At least you've got some sense. Now it's time you apologize to Yun. I took a deep breath and flung the entire cup of mango milk tea straight into Xiaomin's face. Apologize my ass. Yellow mango pulp mixed with milky tea dripped absurdly from the bridge of his nose, framing his wide, furious eyes. A sliver of satisfaction finally eased the hatred burning in my chest. Just a faint trace, that legendary heirloom jade pendant of Guiyun's. I never once laid hands on it, only saw her wear it during the freshman welcome performance. I've no idea how it ended up mysteriously tucked beneath my dorm pillow. In my past life, Guiyun's ambush caught me completely off guard. Before I could even consider calling the police, Xiaomin's outrageous antics left me utterly dumbfounded. I hadn't even made it back to the dorm after my 8 a.m. class when my roommate started blowing up my phone. Sun Jia, Guiyun found her jade necklace under your pillow. She's downstairs sobbing in Xiaomin's arms. Get back here now. Completely baffled, I stumbled back to the dorm building only to spot the embracing couple the moment I looked up. Guiyun was clutching that jade necklace, crying her heart out. Xiaomin, who had been patiently comforting Guiyun, looked up and saw me. With a chilling expression, he strode over, grabbed my wrist forcefully, and dragged me toward the academic building. Xiaomin, what are you doing? I didn't take her necklace. Let me go. Xiaomin refused to let me finish even a single sentence. He couldn't even bear to look at me for another second. As if the mere sight disgusted him, his towering height and long legs made it impossible for me to keep up. Yet I couldn't break free from his iron grip, his fingers nearly crushing my wrist. I stumbled after him in humiliating fashion, drawing shocked stares from every passerby. Those same large hands that once warmed mine by rubbing them in winter had now become instruments of torture. The boy who used to hold my hand while we ran flying kites together now dragged me down the hallway like a prisoner, hauling me toward the principal's office. Dean, I'm reporting Sun Jia for stealing others' belongings. I demand her postgraduate recommendation be revoked. I couldn't believe my ears. Just because of Guiyun's one-sided accusation, Xiaomin was ready to ruin my future. The dean isn't Xiaomin, and obviously wouldn't make such a decision lightly. Whether it's theft or not is for the police to determine. Revoking guaranteed graduate admission also requires rigorous review. Xiaomin, we grew up together. Do you really think I'm a thief? Leaving the dean's office, Xiaomin remained indifferent to my furious questioning. He halted and looked down at me with icy contempt. A mocking glint in his eyes. The old you would never steal, but things are different now. Your family's bankrupt. You're penniless overnight, faced with jewels worth millions. Temptation's only natural. You're jealous of Yun, jealous of her priceless jewels, jealous that she has me. My heart felt skewered by a needle, instantly mangled beyond recognition. during my freshman year, my family went bankrupt. To spare me from their crushing debt, my parents made the ultimate sacrifice. They took their own lives by drowning in the sea. In a single night, I lost my home, my parents, and the people who loved me most in this world. I still remember vividly how Xiaomin held my broken self tightly at my parents' funeral, giving me his final act of support. Sun Jia, you still have me. I'll never leave you. Xiaomin knew my pain better than anyone. His warm embrace felt so genuine back then. Now he's twisted the knife in my wound, too. Seeing my face turn deathly pale, Xiaomin snapped back to reality with a flicker of remorse in his eyes. He turned away uncomfortably, clearing his throat. Yun is a kind-hearted girl. If you're willing to make a public apology to her, she won't press legal charges. There's no way I'd apologize. Why should I admit to something I didn't do? Xiaomin and I parted on bad terms. The attacks against me never ceased. That day, a forum post titled "Top Female Student Caught Stealing Classmates' Heirloom" went viral on campus. Though no names were mentioned, the post clearly featured a photo of Xiaomin dragging me along unsteadily. Wherever I went, whether the lecture halls or cafeteria, more and more people would whisper and point behind my back. How could someone with such rotten morals get recommended for graduate school? I've seen that necklace before. Guiyun said it was her grandmother's heirloom. Worth over 10 million on the market. Who knows what shady deals Sun Jia made with the faculty to secure that grad school recommendation. Her family went bankrupt. Now she's flat broke. People like that would sell anything for money, probably been passed around like cheap goods. I whirled around to face the gossiping tongues behind me. The furtive stares quickly averted their gaze. Mocking laughter occasionally rippled through the crowd. My whole body trembled. Yet I couldn't pinpoint who in the crowd was slandering me. Blinded by rage and in a daze, it finally occurred to me to call the police. Just then, a message from Xiaomin popped up on my phone. Yun has decided to let it go. Meet me at this location at 10 tonight. We need to talk this through. He sent a pin location, and I felt a weight lift off my chest. Xiaomin would still have my back. That foolish thought backed me into a corner. At 10 p.m. I arrived at Xiaomin's pinned location only to find a pitch-black abandoned building. That's when I realized something was wrong. Just as I turned to leave, Xiaomin and Guiyun surrounded me with a group of guys. Yun won't press charges, but a shameless thief like you deserves to be taught a lesson. The speaker was one of Guiyun's sworn brothers. All 7 or 8 guys present were Guiyun's sworn brothers. She stole the show at the freshman orientation party, becoming the simultaneous crush of all these guys. Caught in a dilemma, Guiyun simply gathered all these boys together and officially adopted them as her sworn brothers. From then on, these sworn brothers took care of all her meals and seat reservations. 1 girl and 7 or 8 boys formed a bizarre yet harmonious symbiotic relationship. This peculiar sibling dynamic became legendary campus lore. Every time her sworn brothers mentioned Guiyun, their eyes betrayed a bittersweet ache of unrequited longing mingled with contented smiles. To be fair, Guiyun possessed a delicate beauty that instinctively stirred men's protective instincts. She captivated not just those 7 or 8 sworn brothers, but also caught Xiaomin's attention. Gradually, without noticing when it began, Xiaomin spent less time with me and more by Guiyun's side. The day I received my postgraduate recommendation, Guiyun officially announced her relationship with Xiaomin on social media. The familiar figure I used to see with just a turn of my head was gone forever. Though my heart ached, I silently wished them happiness. But I never imagined Guiyun wanted more than just Xiaomin. In the darkness before the abandoned building, Guiyun watched my trembling form with an inscrutable smile on her flawlessly made-up face. Sun Jia, if you just admit you stole my necklace, they won't do anything to you. She'd gone to such lengths just to force a confession from my own lips, resorting to such underhanded methods without hesitation. I'm not that stupid. The boys surrounding me had mocking glints in their eyes. The moment they forced me to confess stealing the necklace, the guy holding the camera would instantly spread my confession video everywhere. I looked at Xiaomin, but got no response. His gaze remained fixed on Guiyun the entire time. A night breeze swept by, making Guiyun shiver and hug her arms. Xiaomin quickly took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. He can't see how these people are threatening me, nor does he care what I'm going through. Clenching my teeth, I pulled out my phone to call the police, only for one of them to snatch it and smash it on the ground. Call the police. Think carefully, you'll be jailed too for stealing millions in jewelry. Guiyun's sworn brothers closed in around me, their brazen eyes raking over my body. Getting that grad school recommendation, bet those old bastards had their fun with you first. Now it's our turn. A chill seeped from my breath straight to my core as I stared at Xiaomin in disbelief. Have you lost your fucking mind? This is assault, and you're just standing there. Xiaomin frowned at the abandoned building ahead and said coolly, at this point, you still won't admit you stole those things. He stared at me with icy detachment. Since you've sunk to such depravity, you'll face judgment in the shadows. After tonight, you'll go to the dean tomorrow and withdraw your postgraduate recommendation. That's what you owe Yun Yun. If you don't, you'll face the consequences. He turned away decisively, wrapping his arm around Gui Yun as they left, treating me like I was nothing but trash. Gui Yun glanced back at me with a radiant smile. The truth came out, and I finally understood what she was really after. There were 5 graduate school recommendation spots in our class, and Sun Jia ranked 6th. If I withdraw, she'll get the recommendation. What shocked me most was that Xiaomin actually approved of this arrangement. A lifetime of childhood bonds couldn't compete with Gui Yun's few months of sweet affection. In the end, Gui Yun's sworn brothers dragged me into the abandoned building, hauling me all the way to the rooftop. The malicious men circled me like cats toying with a mouse, slowly undressing with deliberate cruelty. Make sure my face isn't in frame, just get this woman's face clearly on camera. This woman caused Yun such great harm, her photos must be spread far and wide. The men casually dictated my fate without a second thought. One of them smirked in understanding, raised his DSLR, and pointed it straight at me. Someone grabbed my shoulders from behind, sending chills down my spine. The area was deserted, my screams went unheard. In the struggle, I headbutted a man's nose with all my might, broke free, and leaped from the rooftop as curses rained down. During the fall, I thought I saw Xiaomin sprinting toward me. Xiaomin, why don't you just drop dead? Back at the beginning, the posts attacking me were just gaining traction. Xiaomin brought Gui Yun to confront me, demanding I apologize to her. Same mango milk tea, same aggressive attitude. In my past life, I walked away angrily without engaging further with them. I'm done coddling them in this lifetime, dumping milk tea on that scumbag. Pure satisfaction in one word. Xiaomin stood frozen with mango milk tea dripping down his face, clearly baffled by my outburst. Gui Yun caught the splatter too. Her white dress now sported vivid yellow stains from the mango juice. My dress, this is Chanel. Gui Yun's delicate face twisted in horror, but Xiaomin's expression was even more contorted. Sun Jia. He ground out my name through clenched teeth, wiping the milk tea from his face. How dare you? I hurled the empty boba cup straight at his face. My bad. Can't help wanting to smack idiots when I see them. Plus I've been allergic to mango since childhood. Did dementia make you forget? With death wish levels of rage, he's lucky I stopped at 10 slaps. Xiaomin froze again, guilt flashing across his face. He'd genuinely forgotten about my mango allergy. So what if you're allergic? It's not deadly. How could you be so rude? Apologize right now. Face dark with anger, Xiaomin reached for my wrist, but I slapped his hand away hard. I dialed the police right in front of both of them. Hello, I'd like to report a crime. Someone falsely accused me of stealing jewelry worth tens of millions. I request the police investigate this matter immediately. Xiaomin froze on the spot. Gui Yun's face suddenly turned deathly pale. She bit her lip hard, shooting me a venomous glare before instantly morphing back into a fragile damsel just as Xiaomin turned around. Her face-switching skills belong on a theater stage. The shock faded from Xiaomin's face as he let out a resigned chuckle, his expression turning unreadably complex. Sun Jia, why go this far? If the police confirm your theft charges, losing your grad school recommendation will be the least of your worries. You could get expelled or even face jail time. Even though I called the police without hesitation, he still insisted I stole the necklace, just to spite me, just for your ridiculous pride. You'd throw away your entire future. Xiaomin let out a bitter laugh and shook his head. I rolled my eyes. Stop playing dumb with your narcissus act. Xiao, search your conscience. Do you really believe I stole Gui Yun's necklace? Before he could respond, I kept firing away. My family was wealthy once too, though I only glimpsed it from afar. Was that so-called $10 million jade necklace really worth that much? Gui Yun's eyes widened in shock. Sun Jia, I let the theft slide, and now you're slandering my grandmother's heirloom. That's genuine imperial jade. Imperial jade, I snorted. Talk about gilding the lily. Xiaomin frowned and shot me a warning glance, pulling Gui Yun into his arms. He abruptly cut me off. Sun Jia, if you keep being this unreasonable and obstinate, don't blame me for turning against you. I threw back my head and laughed 3 times. What's your affection worth? You mean absolutely nothing to me. Do the world a favor and stay permanently entangled with Gui Yun. Thanks, Xiaomin. Meeting you was the worst misfortune of my life. Xiaomin's pupils contracted at the words, his eyes flickering with unmistakable hurt. This barely scratches the surface. Hurt already, nowhere near enough. I turned and strode away, leaving that disgusting couple behind me. Time wasn't on my side. Gui Yun's so-called sworn brother was a computer science grad student. That viral post attacking me on the campus forum was almost certainly his doing. I quickly posted another thread on the campus forum. High reward offered for clear 4K plus resolution photos of Guiyun's jade necklace, bounty set at 5,000 RMB. My family may be bankrupt, but even a sinking ship has some nails left. I can still afford this amount. A handsome reward will always find takers. Guiyun turned many heads at that orientation party, and plenty of people did photograph the jade necklace around her neck. A high-definition close-up of Guiyun performing on stage quickly rose to the top of the feed, just what we needed at the perfect moment. Not only could I see the concealer-covered blemish on Guiyun's chin, but also the actual quality of that so-called imperial green jadeite necklace. The surface polish was impeccable, but the transparency left much to be desired. Upon closer inspection, Guiyun's necklace doesn't even qualify as glass-grade jadeite at best, it's ice-grade. Speaking of which, my family collects jade too. Guiyun's necklace looks vibrant from afar, but the high-res photos reveal questionable texture. My sister's a jewelry designer. After seeing the photos, she questioned whether it's actually worth over 10 million. Skeptical comments have already started appearing in the thread. I let out a relieved sigh. Yet my chest tightened with unease. This was the so-called imperial green Guiyun kept raving about. This was the very thing Xiaomin insisted would tempt me to steal. Coming from a jewelry trade family, Xiaomin couldn't possibly have missed that this necklace wasn't worth much, so he was hell-bent on sacrificing my future to spice up his love life in his past life. The high-def photo of Guiyun wearing the jade necklace was swiftly deleted within seconds. Followed by the instant removal of my post, I scoffed. Nothing ever truly disappears from the internet. Guiyun's so-called sworn brother clearly knew the real worth of that necklace she was wearing. What theft? What punishment? From the very beginning, they were after my guaranteed graduate admission spot. The police arrived surprisingly fast. Witness testimony and physical evidence are the first necessities in any investigation. Guiyun remains the only witness to this day. My roommates stood behind me and questioned Guiyun. None of us were in the dorm this morning. How did you, someone from the next room, get in? Guiyun stammered before insisting we'd left the door unlocked. As for physical evidence like fingerprints, the police examined the meticulously polished jade necklace with mixed expressions before turning to Guiyun. Guiyun's eyes welled up with tears again. This was my grandmother's heirloom, for the first time in my life. It nearly got lost and was hidden by someone else. I just couldn't stand the thought of it being tainted, though one might wonder who truly deserved that disgust. Officer, I'd like to request an appraisal of this jade necklace to determine if it's genuine imperial green. I deliberately emphasized the words imperial green. Guiyun bit her lip and glared at me tearfully, saying, Sun Jia, why won't you just leave me alone? I couldn't help but marvel at her audacity to turn the tables. Truly impressive. Xiaomin kept darting shifty glances my way, but I just thought he had a twitch and gave him an exaggerated eye roll. With a darkening expression, Xiaomin took Guiyun's hand and stepped forward again. My family owns a jewelry business. I can have experts authenticate it. I let out a scornful laugh and immediately raised my hand in a stop gesture. As her boyfriend, your testimony is completely unreliable. You need to recuse yourself. Do you even understand conflict of interest? Xiaomin's gaze was icy, refusing to even look at me as he spat out coldly. Justice resides in people's hearts. Sun Jia, karma will get you. I squinted and shot back sarcastically. Likewise, those who frame others will reap 100-fold retribution. Xiaomin paused mid-step, then walked away without looking back. The police took the jade necklace for appraisal, but with critical gaps in the alleged evidence chain. The theft charge simply couldn't hold up. At dinner time, I walked into the cafeteria with my head held high. Once again, people were whispering and pointing behind my back. How dare she show her face here to eat? I heard Xiaomin reported her and demanded her postgraduate recommendation be revoked. Serves her right. Hold on, what's wrong with you people? The police haven't even concluded the investigation. And you're already playing judge. Exactly. Many people have saved high-res photos of Guiyun's necklace. Zoom in and you'll see it's nowhere near worth 10 million. Even if it's not 10 million, Sun Jia is still a thief. Cut it out. One lie requires countless more to cover its tracks. If the necklace's value doesn't hold up, then the so-called theft falls apart too. I'm staying neutral on this, not playing the fool. I stood still without turning around. Yet the corners of my lips curled slightly. Things are different now. Unlike my previous life when I was utterly alone, more people had their eyes open this time. Yet halfway through my meal, trouble came looking for me anyway. Several tall guys approached my table, gruffly shooed away the others, then plopped down heavily across from me. The guy opposite me suddenly slammed his palm on the table. Still got an appetite? You've got some nerve. I lifted my gaze without a word. Subtly tightening my left fist, Guiyun's sworn brothers showed up earlier than expected. The guy sitting across from me had narrow eyes and thin lips curled in a smirk, scanning my face with the calculating gaze of a merchant appraising goods. I felt like prey under a serpent's stare, stomach acid churning so violently I nearly vomited on the spot. Chen Zhiyong, that graduate student from the computer science department who's Guiyun's sworn brother. The same man who first stripped and tried to assault me on that unfinished rooftop before my death in the past life. I set down my chopsticks and cleared my throat. I don't follow your meaning. By what authority are you judging me here? Chen Zhiyong's expression darkened, while the undergrads behind him grew visibly restless. How shameless can you be? Is that any way to behave? No wonder you turned to stealing. Your nerve is truly something else. If I were you, I'd have publicly apologized to Yun by now, let alone cling to that graduate recommendation spot. I smirked, ignoring the lackeys and locking eyes with Chen Zhiyong. I know exactly what you're after. Chen Zhiyong stood frozen, his eyes locked onto me with an unblinking stare. I met his gaze with a calm smile. As a computer science graduate from a top-tier university, are you truly prepared to face the consequences and bear full responsibility for this, though I died in my past life? I'm certain Chen Zhiyong and his criminal gang will ultimately face justice. They made such a grand production just to secure Guiyun's graduate recommendation spot. Any sane person could see it was a terrible deal. But I'd underestimated how obsessed Guiyun's sworn brothers were with her. Chen Zhiyong leaned forward, his glassy eyes drawing uncomfortably close to mine, a serpentine tongue even flicked out to moisten his lips. So what if you know? He chuckled under his breath. You're already in too deep. With the graduate recommendation list about to be announced campus-wide, the university can't afford to keep a notorious figure like you hogging the spot at this critical juncture. Be smart and back off now, or you'll regret crossing Yuyun for the rest of your life. I leaned back in my chair, silently observing Chen Zhiyong while frantically recalling everything I knew about him. Chen Zhiyong came from considerable wealth. His mother had donated 10 million to the school. While playing the devoted sworn brother to Guiyun, he was also a notorious womanizer who'd toyed with dozens of girls. This is an individual with extreme personality traits, spoiled by excessive indulgence. The phone vibrated at that precise moment. I lowered my gaze to the phone screen. Yun has decided to let it go. Meet us at this location by 10 tonight, we'll talk things through. At the exact same moment, Xiaomin sent me the identical message from our past life. The location ping remained unchanged, still that abandoned construction site. 3. Pressing my lips together, I looked up and met Chen Zhiyong's gaze. His eyes sparkled with amusement, as if anticipating something delightful, and he rose to his feet with visible pleasure. Enjoy your dinner, we'll be seeing each other again real soon. The other boys exchanged knowing glances, chuckling quietly among themselves before following Chen Zhiyong out of the cafeteria. I watched their retreating figures, slowly exhaling in relief as I stopped my phone's recording function. 10 p.m., in front of the abandoned building, the faint rustle of footsteps approached from behind me. I didn't need to turn around to know at least 7 or 8 people had surrounded me. I told you we'd meet again soon. Chen Zhiyong's voice came from behind, laced with a chilling amusement. I turned to look. Guiyun and Xiaomin stood close together, watching indifferently as her sworn brothers surrounded me. Sun Jia, the police couldn't find evidence to punish you, but justice always prevails. Tonight, you'll get what's coming to you. Xiaomin held Guiyun's hand with a mocking gaze, like a judge delivering my sentence. I stared fixedly at Xiaomin for several moments. The boy who grew up with me has long died in my memory. What stands here is but a hollow shell, after all your scheming. Isn't this just about forcing me to withdraw from the graduate recommendation so Guiyun can take my spot? I cut straight to the chase and exposed everyone's hidden thoughts. Chen Zhiyong's expression remained unchanged, as if he hadn't heard a thing, idly swinging a belt while staring at me with a half-smirk. Guiyun's other sworn brothers, being less experienced, exchanged uneasy glances, seeing my complete composure. Guiyun finally lost her patience. Sun Jia, just admit you stole my necklace and they won't do anything to you. She coaxed me like petting a kitten, repeating her script from a past life. I burst into giggles, staring at her like she was an idiot. Guiyun, don't tell me you actually think your scheme was flawless. Someone accidentally caught you sneaking into our dorm with that necklace on camera. The so-called necklace theft was nothing but a ridiculous charade you staged yourself. At these words, Guiyun's face instantly betrayed panic. Impossible. I specifically went during class hours when everyone was occupied. Her words trailed off abruptly as sudden realization dawned on her. You bitch, you tricked me. I was staring intently at Xiaomin. He turned his head to meet Guiyun's gaze, his body momentarily stiffening. Guiyun covered her mouth, shaking her head at him repeatedly as tears streamed down her face. A flicker of conflict crossed Xiaomin's face before resolve hardened his features. He clasped Gui Yun's hand again and turned to me. Sun Jia, what's done is done. Stop this pointless resistance. Go see the dean tomorrow and withdraw from the graduate recommendation. After a hesitant pause, he spoke again with visible difficulty. I promise this matter will be buried forever, as long as Yun gets that graduate spot. At most, I promise I'll keep looking after you from now on. Xiaomin's eyes softened with their usual tenderness, even giving me a slight nod. He didn't notice the fleeting venom in Gui Yun's eyes beside him. I let out a soft chuckle and briefly closed my eyes. What a fool I was, still waiting for someone like him to come to his senses. Are you out of your damn mind? There's no need to go through all that trouble, Chen Zhiyong drawled lazily, swinging his belt through the air with a sharp snap. There are plenty of ways to shut her up. A petty thief with sticky fingers, unable to bear the guilt, took his own life out of remorse. He raised an eyebrow at me. Doesn't this ending suit you perfectly? Almost everyone in the room swallowed hard simultaneously. One of Gui Yun's sworn brothers stammered, Brother Chen, didn't we agree to strip her and shoot some adult films? But killing her seems a bit. His remaining words died in his throat under Chen Zhiyong's icy glare. Startled by the words, Xiaomin instinctively stepped forward, only to be yanked back forcefully by Gui Yun. I asked in disbelief, Chen Zhiyong, I'm genuinely curious, how did you become so well-versed in murder and robbery? The brutality of the methods and the utter disregard for human life were beyond what any ordinary college student could muster. Chen Zhiyong smirked, curious, you'll find out when you're dead. What are you standing around for? Drag her upstairs. Drinks are on me tonight, we're all having some fun. Gui Yun's sworn brothers hesitated in their steps. Chen Zhiyong shot a glare across the room. What, scared? Is your affection for Yun really that worthless? Listen up, anyone who dares not touch this woman tonight is my enemy. From now on, it's either him or me. It was clear Chen Zhiyong was the ringleader of this so-called sworn brothers gang. The faces of my so-called brothers twisted through several expressions before they turned to glare at me in unison, their eyes gleaming with malice. Don't blame us. You brought this on yourself by standing in Yun's way. Next life, remember to stay the hell away from her. Rolling up their sleeves, they advanced and began dragging me forcibly toward the abandoned building. Chen Zhiyong brought up the rear, laughing as he swung his belt through the air. It's been too long since I last drew blood with this. How nostalgic. Not far away, Gui Yun clung desperately to Xiaomin, preventing him from taking another step forward. A trace of sorrow flashed in Xiaomin's eyes as he suddenly cried out, Sun Jia, in this life I have Yun, but I swear I'll be with you in the next. I couldn't help but spit in disgust. Go to hell, Xiaomin, you're nothing but a lackey. Stay the fuck away from me in this life and all your next miserable reincarnations. One of those so-called sworn brothers slapped me hard across the face. Shut your filthy mouth, bitch. He let out a pained howl and staggered backward. I delivered a vicious kick straight to his groin. Chen Zhiyong strode over, raising his belt to strike my face, playing the chaste heroine. Looks like you're begging for an early grave. Beneath the worn-out leather belt lay countless rust-stained jagged blade fragments. The belt never struck me. A gunshot echoed through the night as Chen Zhiyong froze mid-swing, terror dawning across his face. The gunshot's reverberations lingered in the hollow skeleton of the abandoned building. Police, drop your weapons or face the consequences. Several plainclothes detectives emerged from the darkness, guns drawn. Gui Yun's sworn brothers threw me to the ground. They retreated step by step in panic, torn between fleeing and staying. A foul stench hit my nostrils. One of those so-called sworn brothers I'd just kicked over had actually pissed himself in fear. I scrambled to my feet, pinching my nose in disgust as I quickly ducked behind the police officers. Gui Yun glanced around furtively while dragging Xiaomin backward, trying to slip away unnoticed. Chen Zhiyong stood frozen, his beady eyes darting around before finally fixing me with a venomous glare. How dare you call the cops? Do you even know who the hell I am? I arched an eyebrow and fired back. Chen Zhiyong, male, first-year CS grad student at a university, Gui Yun's sworn brother, and the mastermind behind tonight's attempted kidnapping and murder. Everyone, memorize this face. If you see this man, stay away. He's extremely dangerous. I pulled out another phone that had been hanging around my neck, hidden beneath my coat. The livestream screen was flooded with bullet comments flying by like a snowstorm. The livestream's viewer count had already surpassed 100,000. Chen Zhiyong's expression finally changed. He let out a frenzied roar and lunged at me with a savage expression, only to freeze when he saw the police officer's gun trained on him. You bitch, I'll make you regret ever being born. Wow, threatening a victim right in front of the cops. That's some next-level stupidity. I flashed a wolfish grin. Mark my words. Folks, if anything happens to me, remember to go after Chen Zhiyong. I turned the camera toward Xiaomin and Guiyun, who were trying to slip away quietly. Now for our main event, meet Guiyun, the very woman Chen Zhiyong went berserk for. This whole circus tonight, all because they wanted me to step aside for her grad school spot. Guiyun stared at the endless barrage of comments on my phone screen, burying her face in her hands as she shrank behind Xiaomin, letting out a hysterical scream. Turn it off. You bitch, I said turn it off. Xiaomin stood pale and hollow-eyed, staring at me in utter devastation. My eyes glinted with mischief as a cold smirk played at the corner of my lips, and the spineless coward beside me, let it be known to all present, I want nothing to do with his next lifetime. I enunciated each syllable with deliberate clarity. He disgusts me. The police took Chen Zhiyong away, along with every last member of Guiyun's sworn brotherhood. Guiyun and Xiaomin could have walked away scot-free. But I handed over the messages and location data Xiaomin sent me to the police. When the dean and counselors finally came to the police station to retrieve the students, they were greeted by a room packed wall-to-wall with detained undergrads. Xiaomin, what were you thinking? The dean shot me a look that mixed disappointment with silent reproach, the kind reserved for failing to live up to expectations. Not long ago, Xiaomin was awarded the National Scholarship as an outstanding graduate student. That photo of him righteously dragging me to see the dean became another feather in his cap. He's become the golden boy of our department, with countless students from other majors considering transferring just because of him. Now Chen Zhiyong and his accomplices are attempting murder in front of hundreds of thousands, while Xiaomin's every word and action at the scene has sparked intense backlash online. The online vitriol against Xiaomin on Weibo has escalated into a full-blown PR crisis for University A, forcing the institution to address the situation publicly. I don't regret dragging the university into this mess, because I know there's still a powerful figure waiting to make their move against me. Without University A backing me up, she'd crush me like a bug. The next day in the dean's office, an elegant yet aloof middle-aged woman sat waiting for me on the sofa. Flanking her were the dean of the computer science department and our own faculty dean. Name your price for the letter of forgiveness. Fang Yan, Chen Zhiyong's mother and the city's wealthiest woman, stared at me with undisguised contempt in her mocking eyes. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I shook my head with a faint smile. If I hadn't called the police, I'd be decomposing by now. Did you really think money could fix everything? Fang Yan snorted coldly, her eyes narrowing into a smirk. You've got quite the appetite, haven't you? Let me remind you, I could get my son out scot-free without spending a single penny. She stretched back into the sofa cushions. He's got a schizophrenia diagnosis from a top-tier Class 3A hospital. Little girl, do you understand what that means? I nodded in understanding. I understand, Ms. Fang. But in the digital age, anything that goes online can never truly be erased. The fact that Chen Zhiyong brutally murdered over a dozen children in Southeast Asia as a minor could go viral in no time. Fang Yan's face darkened instantly. She could pay to silence domestic media. But overseas outlets still have searchable records of Chen Zhiyong's case to this day. The publicly traded companies under her control simply couldn't withstand this kind of media backlash. Both deans suddenly looked up, their faces registering alarm. I knew they intended to play deaf and dumb, but that simply wouldn't do. They needed to hear every dirty detail firsthand. They wanted to protect Chen Zhiyong. They wanted to shield Xiaomin. And they still hoped to preserve Fang Yan's donations to the university. But some money doesn't come easy. If University A's century-old reputation is tarnished by their hands, they'll bear full responsibility. But I'm not looking for mutually assured destruction. Sitting across from Fang Yan with sincere intent, I carefully laid out the stakes. I understand your affection for Chen Zhiyong, but let's not forget you also have an outstanding daughter who excels in both character and academics. Your family business isn't exactly lacking in successors. Fang Yan clenched her teeth and snapped out of her daze, sneering at me. What are you trying to pull? Do you really think I'd abandon my own son over some words from you? Of course you wouldn't. But what if all your son's victims bore some resemblance to your daughter? Fang Yan's composed mask cracked in an instant. I've spent all my time these days investigating the children Chen Zhiyong murdered. Time was tight. So naturally I couldn't obtain photo records of everyone, but grasping this one point would be enough. All the victims had triple eyelids on their left eyes. Chen Yuan, Chen Zhiyong's sister and Fang Yan's most cherished daughter, a freshman at our university and this year's municipal Gaokao champion, also has triple eyelids on her left eye. I doubt Fang Yan could have missed this detail. A mother's ability to bear the truth differs greatly between self-deception and having it exposed by others. You may whitewash all his past crimes, but what if one day his blade turns against your own daughter? I let out a derisive laugh. Chen Yuan was exemplary in both character and scholarship, her eyes radiating a kindness wholly absent in Chen Zhiyong. Her world remained untouched by darkness. If Qin Zhiyong decided to harm her, that girl wouldn't stand a chance. Fang Yan stared daggers at me for 10 solid minutes before storming out of school with a face like thunder. The two deans remained silent for a long while, making no further demands for reconciliation between me, Xiaomin, Qin Zhiyong and the others. With lives at stake, University A issued their official statement with unusual speed. On the third day, the university officially announced the expulsion of Qin Zhiyong and others. The Fang family secretly committed Qin Zhiyong to a high-security psychiatric facility, the kind you can't escape from. He evaded criminal charges by pleading insanity, but his freedom would be forfeited for the rest of his life. Fang Yan had only 2 children, a psychotic murderer for a son, an outstanding and kind-hearted daughter. She truly had no other choice. As long as Qin Zhiyong lives, he remains a threat to her daughter. Committing Qin Zhiyong to a psychiatric institution for life was a mother's final compromise. The police forensic report on Guiyun's jade necklace was released, officially announced nationwide in white text on blue background. That so-called imperial jade is just dyed fake jade, not even ice-grade quality, completely worthless. The campus forum erupted in outrage, with all those who'd slandered me to defend Guiyun suddenly going silent. Ironically, Guiyun shifted all blame onto Xiaomin when questioned by police. I had no idea they'd do that to Sun Jia. It was all Xiaomin and Qin Zhiyong's scheme. I'm completely innocent, perhaps for love's sake. Xiaomin silently bore all the consequences, only to be rewarded with an expulsion notice in the end. Guiyun got off with just a public apology for falsely accusing me of theft. But her life wasn't easy either. All her sworn brothers were expelled, with criminal records permanently filed, leaving 7 or 8 families utterly devastated. Every day, parents of those sworn brothers would gather outside school gates, holding protest banners and hurling abuse at Guiyun, of course, out of the kindness of my heart. I couldn't bear to leave them in the dark, so I sent them every detail of what their son had done for Guiyun. No parents could stomach their son being a simp, especially when he ended up with absolutely nothing to show for it. These sworn brothers' parents vowed that if they ever laid eyes on Guiyun, she'd get pelted with rotten eggs and vegetables to her heart's content. Though the case is over, Guiyun still dares not take a single step outside the school gates on foot unless Xiaomin picks her up by car. With everything settled, my postgraduate recommendation was secured without a hitch. After the university-wide announcement of the recommendation results, Xiaomin suddenly came to see me. He looked noticeably haggard after our time apart, his once radiant and confident features now worn with exhaustion. There was a melancholic yet hopeful glimmer in the way he looked at me. Sun Jia, can you ever forgive me? I flashed him a bright smile and poured the thermos scalding water over his head. Forgive you? Not until you can gather every drop back into this cup. Xiaomin stood motionless with his head hung low, his glistening face indistinguishable between water and tears. How could you be so heartless? Wasn't our past good enough? Why must you go to such extremes? I've been treading on thin ice every step of the way, just to ensure I don't meet a violent end in this lifetime. Yet in Xiaomin's version, suddenly I'm the cruel one. In your dreams, I never want to lay eyes on you again. Every second spent talking to Xiaomin right now is a complete waste of time. Doesn't matter, karma's coming for him soon enough. I turned and walked away, hearing frantic footsteps scrambling behind me. Guiyun came running after us, screaming and pounding on Xiaomin. She lunged at me again, only to be stunned by Xiaomin's slap across her face. Still can't forget that bitch. Didn't you swear you'd love me forever? Xiaomin, you're not leaving me until I'm dead. I picked my ear casually and made a swift exit from the battlefield. I never imagined Guiyun's prophecy about her own fate would come true so quickly. On the first snowfall, Xiaomin drove their car through the roadside guardrail, plunging both of them into the sea. The salvage operation lasted all night, and when they were recovered the next day, their bodies remained locked in a violent struggle, faces frozen in mutual hatred. That same day, my roommates and I were happily toasting over hot pot to celebrate the year's first snowfall. Story 2. My husband burned me and our 2 daughters alive in our home, then sued the property developer for $10 million and married a pregnant woman. Yet somehow, I was reborn on the day my youngest daughter came into this world. 1. The suffocating agony of smoke inhalation still haunted me when the doctor lifted the newborn to my face. Congratulations on your baby girl. Beginning sutures now. I recognize this face. It's the surgeon who performed my second C-section. I could feel the tugging at my abdominal flesh, but I ignored it. My gaze locked on the bassinet holding my newborn daughter. I can't believe I've been brought back to this day, in my past life. Right after I returned home from the C-section to recover, Jiang Song hired a top-tier postpartum nanny to attend to me. On my 8th postpartum day when I could barely get out of bed, he instructed the nanny to set our house on fire. stole my phone, then locked me inside with our 2 daughters. He activated the smart lock's anti-theft mode from his phone, sealing us in and keeping rescuers out. Then he turned off his phone and boarded a flight, claiming it was a business trip. By the time firefighters broke in and police reached him, all they could do was ask him to claim the bodies. His wails echoed through the neighborhood, while hundreds of funeral wreaths overflowed the communal garden as he vowed to get justice for me. In the end, he secured $10 million in compensation, conveniently inheriting the equivalent sum from my parents' estate. Before that, I'd watched helplessly as both daughters drew their last breaths in my arms before I myself suffocated to death. For days I lingered near our home, until in my final moments of consciousness, I heard him exclaim to his mother with manic glee, "Mom, the money's ours, now I can marry her, you'll hold your grandson soon." Heaven has eyes, I'd been given a second chance. The moment I stepped out of the delivery room, Jeong Song's entire family rushed to greet me. "You've worked so hard, sweetheart," Jeong Song choked up, gripping my hand tightly with red-rimmed eyes. My mother-in-law followed close behind, gazing at me earnestly. "Chin-chin, don't worry, we'll cherish both our granddaughters." I gave them an icy glance and murmured, "I'm exhausted, I need to sleep." Without hesitation, Jeong Song escorted me to the VIP ward as I wearily closed my eyes. They thought I'd fallen asleep, but I was actually replaying everything in my mind. 3 years in college, 4 years of marriage, their entire family had played their roles flawlessly. I suddenly remembered what my best friend Lu Qingqing told me: never date a social climber. She was absolutely right. I only have myself to blame for not listening. At that very moment, through the bed curtain, I heard Jeong Song and his mother whispering, "Is your wife asleep?" "She's resting. C-sections take a real toll on the body. TCH, all that money wasted hiring top surgeons, $1,000 private suites, just to deliver some useless girl. What a damn disgrace." "Come on, Ma. Calm down, the other one's pregnant. Remember, we just filed the prenatal paperwork. You know they're getting impatient. When are you planning to handle it?" Jeong Song fell silent for a moment. "We'll get it done once she's discharged from the hospital." A chill ran down my spine as I listened. 2. He hasn't done anything yet. Reporting to the police would be pointless. They'd just think I'd lost my mind, but I must protect myself. 2 hours later, I pretended to wake up. While Jeong Song was feeding me porridge, I said, "Cancel the postnatal caregiver you contacted earlier. I booked a confinement center. They'll pick me and the baby up from the hospital in a couple days." Jeong Song's hand trembled as he asked sharply, "We've already paid the deposit. Why cancel now?" "The confinement center provides better service and more comfort than staying home. It'll be less hassle for you too. Don't worry. I'll cover the cost myself," I said calmly. Jeong Song disagreed. "Debeo's been crying for you nonstop these days. If you take Xiaobei to the postpartum center, she'll be heartbroken." He knew exactly my weak spot. I couldn't bear to see Debeo cry, but I'd already planned ahead. I booked a suite. Debeo can stay with me whenever she misses me. Jeong Song opened his mouth, searching for another argument, but came up empty. I watched him frown while serving me dinner. Then he muttered something about fetching water with a troubled look. All night long, he tossed and turned restlessly on the caregiver's bed nearby. Early the next morning, Lu Qingqing came to visit me with gifts. She adored little Bei's fair, chubby cheeks, playing by the crib nonstop before remarking, "You might have married poorly, but these 2 darlings of yours are absolute charmers. You'll be drowning in happiness." Just then, Jeong Song walked in carrying fruits, his eyes lighting up at the sight of the stylishly dressed Lu Qingqing. "Qingqing's here. Perfect timing. I bought durian. Want some?" Qinchin mentioned it's both your favorite, but Lu Qingqing scoffed at Jeong Song's obvious attempt to please. "New mothers are weak postpartum and need to lactate, and you bring her this," trying to sabotage her recovery. Flustered by the rebuke, Jeong Song mumbled, "I didn't think it through." An awkward silence fell over the hospital room. I chuckled. "Come on, Qingqing, ignore him. Didn't you come to see Xiaobei? Look, she seems about to wake up." Sure enough, little Xiaobei stirred twice in her crib. Lu Qingqing's eyes lit up again as she reached for the baby's tiny hand. Jeong Song chuckled beside us. "Qingqing, since you adore children so much, why not have one yourself? Any child of yours would be just as stunning as you are." In the past, I would have simply thought he was desperately trying to curry favor with my friend, but now, I could clearly see the raw desire in his eyes when he looked at Lu Qingqing. 3. Though Lu Qingqing came from humble beginnings, she worked tirelessly to better herself, proudly calling herself a single aristocrat. She lived life on her own terms with carefree abandon. Unlike a goody two-shoes like me, she dressed fashionably with a bold personality, independent and sharp-minded. A woman like her wouldn't even spare Jeong Song a glance. Seeing Lu Qingqing's stony expression, Jeong Song took the hint and left without another word. When I saw no one was around, I called out her name softly, Qingqing. Lu Qingqing looked up at me, but the words caught in my throat. In my past life, both my parents died in a car accident a year after my marriage, leaving only Jiang Song and Lu Qingqing as my closest companions. Back then, I would share everything with Lu Qingqing, but now I'm unsure whether to tell her about my rebirth. Perhaps, it's better not to say anything for now. After all, these things aren't exactly easy to accept. It's nothing. I chuckled. I just suddenly thought how nice it must be to stay single like you, carefree without any burdens. Lu Qingqing sighed helplessly. You're the one who insisted on diving headfirst into this. What can anyone else do? I nodded, then abruptly asked her. Qingqing, if I were to die someday, what do you think would happen to Debao and Xiaobei? Why say such ominous things? Lu Qingqing immediately started spitting to ward off bad luck, but I said seriously, I mean it, if anything ever happens to me, please take care of my 2 daughters. Lu Qingqing looked at me, her smile fading as her expression turned grave. Qinchin, are you sensing something? After holding her gaze for several seconds, I suddenly burst out laughing. Nothing like that, maybe it's just postpartum overthinking. After all, I've just narrowly escaped death myself. Lu Qingqing finally relaxed and scolded, don't say such nonsense again. But I knew my path ahead was still fraught with danger. Jiang Song had already decided to kill me. Even if the opportunity wasn't there now, he'd find a way to strike eventually. Even if I got a second chance, I wasn't sure I could escape unscathed and turn the tables to send him plummeting into the abyss. 5 days later, the postnatal care center sent a car to pick us up from the hospital. On the way, I stopped by home to bring our eldest child along too. Jiang Song said worriedly, I think I should move in with you. You're recovering from surgery while handling 2 kids alone. I'm afraid it'll be too much for you. In the past, I would have been deeply touched by his thoughtfulness, but now, the closer he gets, the more uneasy I feel. I cut him off without hesitation. No need, I can't rest well with too many people around. Jiang Song studied me intently before suddenly saying, Chen Chen, what's been going on with you these past few days? You've never been this distant with me before. Ignoring him, I checked directly into the postnatal care center suite. Late that night, I dreamt again of that devastating fire from my past life, dragging myself across the floor with reopened wounds, my voice hoarse from screaming, praying someone would save my child, but there was nothing. I woke up in a cold sweat from the nightmare, only to see a dark figure standing by my bed, holding my phone. The dim screen light cast a ghastly glow on Jiang Song's face, making him look utterly repulsive. What are you doing? I screamed. 4. My sudden shout startled Jiang Song so badly he nearly dropped his phone, fumbling to put it back in place. No, I've noticed you've been off lately, wanted to check your phone in case something's wrong. Jiang Song wrapped his arms around me with concern. We're husband and wife, you shouldn't shoulder things alone. I pushed him away blankly. I'm exhausted, truly exhausted, I said firmly. I just need proper rest, you should go home first. Seeing I wouldn't budge an inch, Jiang Song could only leave reluctantly with lingering steps. After he left, I immediately called staff to thoroughly inspect every corner of my room. Only when nothing seemed amiss did I finally relax. Thankfully, I'd already changed my phone passcode earlier. When I turned on the screen, there it was, the 5-minute lockout notification after multiple failed password attempts. I tossed and turned all night, sensing Jiang Song's growing desperation. If that woman outside really had prenatal records, she must be at least 2 months pregnant, probably pressuring him constantly. I simply can't fathom how a pregnant woman could be heartless enough to order the murder of a wife and child. I know my behavior has been unusual lately, but remembering my past life's tragedy makes it impossible to calmly play along with his charade, yet the harder I try to push him away, the more relentless they become. Early the next morning, before I could even finish my snooze, I heard a commotion in the living room mixed with little Bays crying. I knew it, you postnatal centers just take dirty money without doing proper work. How dare you strip my newborn grandchild naked? What if she catches cold, or gets pneumonia? Can you even take responsibility for this? I could hear my mother-in-law shouting at the top of her lungs outside, while the night shift maternity matron patiently explained, Ma'am, we're just giving the baby a massage. Don't feed me that nonsense, smearing all kinds of oils and creams on my granddaughter. You want to give her a rash or what? Who bought these diapers? Are you trying to rip us off? What kind of diapers cost 100 yuan a pack? What is this postpartum meal? These tiny portions are barely enough for a cat. How's anyone supposed to get full? You actually opened the window. Don't you know new mothers must avoid drafts? And turn that AC off right now. The maternity nurse finally snapped. It's July, how can we not use AC? Opening windows briefly in the morning is just for proper ventilation, but my mother-in-law was acting like a complete shrew. Refund? I don't care, you must refund me. Even tossing 100,000 a month into the river would at least make a splash, dragging my sick body out of bed with difficulty. I shuffled to the doorway and said firmly, enough. I gave them permission to do this. Both my mother-in-law and Jiang Song turned to look at me. Well, so Jiang Song was here too, staying silent the whole time and enjoying watching his mother make a scene. He stepped forward to help me up with a reproachful tone. Chin, your mother only wants what's best for you. If you really cared, you'd stay away. Don't think I don't know your mother came here just to pick a fight, I retorted coldly, but before I could finish, my mother-in-law lashed out. Who do you think you are? We've told you we don't mind having 2 daughters. I could have taken good care of you at home, yet you had to throw a tantrum and come to this postpartum center. Think you're something special just because you paid for it. Let me remind you, you married my son, so he decides how the money gets spent, not you. Couldn't even keep the mask on, could she? 5. The commotion in my room finally caught the attention of the maternity center's manager. 2 staff members rushed over to separate us. Trying every possible way to reason with my mother-in-law, but that stubborn old woman kept demanding a refund, threatening to call the police and sue them otherwise. After 2 hours of heated arguments, the manager reluctantly told me, "We apologize, Mrs. Chen. We'll issue you a full refund. Please take your family and leave. If this continues, other new mothers will be disturbed too." Jiang Song and his mother were gleefully packing my things to send me home. My heart raced with panic as I quickly called Lu Qingqing. Qingqing, can I stay with you for a while? I won't be any trouble. I'll hire a nanny to care for us and pay you rent. Lu Qingqing rushed over from work after receiving my call. What's going on? Jiang Song and his mother huddled silently in the corner, still clutching the suitcase and maternity bag. The manager briefly explained the situation, and Lu Qingqing's face instantly darkened. Could you spare 2 staff members to escort us? Lu Qingqing snatched my suitcase from Jiang Song's grasp before turning to me resolutely. Come on, we're going to my place. Perhaps because Lu Qingqing naturally carried an intimidating aura, Jiang Song and his mother, despite their scowls, didn't dare make another move to stop us. Carrying Debao and holding Xiaobei, I followed Lu Qingqing back to her rented apartment. Thankfully, she never skimped on comfort. The 3-bedroom unit was more than spacious enough for all of us. I had to make a last-minute call to a housekeeping service to hire a nanny to take care of me. After everything was settled, Lu Qingqing sat by my bedside and whispered, "Just rest easy staying here with me. Don't worry, I won't let that mother-son pair bully you." Her protection and comfort at that moment felt like a drowning person clutching at a lifeline. All the pain I'd bottled up for days finally poured out as I sobbed uncontrollably in her arms, flustered. Lu Qingqing held me and comforted me. Don't cry. New mothers shouldn't grieve like this." But, what exactly happened? Tell me honestly, how did things with Jiang Song's family turn so sour so suddenly? Are they rejecting little Bei? I shook my head. No, he's seeing someone else, and that woman is already pregnant. He wants to abandon us. His family never wanted a daughter, his mother is desperate for a grandson, but they still want to keep their hands on my money. Lu Qingqing looked shocked. What? He actually did this? That ungrateful bastard, living off you while cheating. Divorce him, god damn it. Just tell me who that woman is. I'll go tear them apart right now, she said through gritted teeth. I could only keep shaking my head. I don't know. There's something else. If I tell you, you might think I've lost my mind, but please believe me, I'm not lying. I'm not sick. Everything I'm saying is true. Seeing my grave expression, Lu Qingqing gradually calmed down. Go ahead, I'm listening, she said. I'd been reborn. I recounted every detail of what Jiang Song and his accomplices had done to me and my 2 daughters in my past life. When I reached the most painful parts, I broke down sobbing uncontrollably. Lu Qingqing's face turned ashen as she patted my back to calm me. Those absolute monsters, she spat through gritted teeth. Do you trust me? I gripped her hand tightly. Of course I trust you. We've shared 20 years together. I'd believe anything you say. She squeezed my hand in return. You're still too weak to handle any stress right now. Focus on recovering here first. Then we'll figure things out together. 6. The following days passed relatively peacefully. Jiang Song's family kept pressuring me to return home at first, but when they saw I'd rather die than go back, they started throwing all caution to the wind. Jiang Song's mother even began spreading vicious rumors around the neighborhood and among friends, claiming I'd cheated on him, that little Bei wasn't his biological child but some bastard's offspring, and that I'd run away out of fear they'd discover my infidelity. As for the so-called evidence, me secretly locking my phone to keep Jiang Song from seeing it, that just proves I must be hiding something. Yet even this outrageous rumor managed to convince quite a few people. My phone's been flooded with all sorts of messages these days, but I haven't replied to a single one. Finally, when Jiang Song realized no amount of pressure would make me crack, he couldn't hold back anymore and called me. Chen Chen, I don't know what you've been doing behind my back, but I'm done playing along. You've always been the golden child, and your family never thought I was good enough. Jiang Song said over the phone, I've filed for divorce. Since you're at fault here, get ready to walk away with nothing. What's this? Since you couldn't kill me, now you're trying to force me to give up my assets, I sneered. In your dreams, that's all my parents' inheritance, and the will clearly states it's mine alone. The house, the cars, the business, you may be using them, but they're legally mine. What gives you the right to leave me with nothing? But Jiang Song wouldn't back down, warning that if I didn't agree, he'd resort to extreme measures. Father-daughter bond be damned. I thought about DeBeo. You can't keep a 5 or 6-year-old cooped up at home forever. The moment she steps outside, Jiang Song might target her. After a long silence, I asked, where are you right now? I scheduled an afternoon mediation session at court with Jiang Song. Perfect timing since I've just finished my postpartum confinement and can move around freely now. I didn't tell Lu Qingqing about this. She's already swamped with work, and I bothered her enough as it is. If paying him off could guarantee our safety, I'd do it. After all, he only cares about money, and what he knows about my assets is just half of what my parents left me. The other half was secretly deposited in Hong Kong by my parents as a safety net. 500,000 transferred monthly to an account under DeBeo's name, completely unknown to Jiang Song's family, even before my marriage. My parents never trusted Jiang Song and his mother. That's why they set up this backup plan. We met punctually at the courthouse entrance at 2 p.m. My phone buzzed with a message from Lu Qingqing asking where I'd gone. She'd come home during lunch break and got worried when she didn't see me. I decided to reply later, figuring I'd explain everything after the mediation, just as Jiang Song and I were about to enter the courthouse. His phone suddenly rang. Jiang Song glanced at me, turned away, took a couple steps toward a tree, and began speaking in hushed tones to the caller. I took advantage of his distraction to inch closer, hiding behind a trash can to eavesdrop. I'm at the courthouse now. She says she's willing to walk away with nothing and give me all the money. I know I should have told you beforehand, but I never got the chance to act. Your pregnancy won't stay hidden much longer. This was our only option. Look. She wouldn't lie to me. I know exactly how much she's worth. She's not that cunning, just timid. No way she could trick me. If we can settle this quietly, why take unnecessary risks? What? Go back. You'll handle it. What are you planning? What do you mean she won't let me off? Explain yourself. What exactly are you saying? Reborn. Wait, you're saying she came back through reincarnation. 7. Before Jiang Song could turn around, I quickly retreated several steps back to my car. I caught his panicked glance in my direction before he immediately looked away. I pretended everything was normal, though my hands were trembling. Only one person knows about my rebirth. They've hidden it so well. The thought of my 2 daughters still being at Lu Qingqing's place made my heart leap into my throat. I was desperate to rush back immediately, yet couldn't let Jiang Song notice anything amiss. Fortunately, Jiang Song hurried over and said, there's an emergency at the company. I need to head back. We'll discuss the divorce another day. I forced a grimacing smile. Whatever you say. After watching Jiang Song's car drive away, I immediately got into my own vehicle and raced back to Lu Qingqing's place at top speed. My mind was racing the entire way. When did Qingqing and Jiang Song get together? I recalled my birthday 2 years ago. Qingqing had gotten drunk at my place and passed out in the guest room, while Jiang Song, reeking of alcohol, was banished by me to sleep in the small room. In the following months, Jiang Song kept working overtime constantly. Around that same period, Qingqing was supposedly dating some wealthy guy, though she never shared details with me. Preoccupied with my child, I never pressed for more information. Every time Jiang Song sees Lu Qingqing around me, he acts all interested but chickens out. I thought he was all bark and no bite. Turns out she's got him wrapped around her finger. The more I thought about it, the more terrified I became. Back at her place, I saw Lu Qingqing lounging on the sofa the moment I stepped in, with DeBeo playing on a tablet in her lap while the maternity helper put Xiaobei to sleep in the bedroom. Spotting my return, Lu Qingqing smiled and said, where've you been? Why weren't you answering my texts? I tossed my bag aside with a sigh while changing shoes. Jiang Song stood me up again for our divorce mediation appointment. Should have divorced him ages ago. Lu Qingqing patted DeBeo to send her off to play, then brought me a glass of water from the kitchen along with 3 white pills. Auntie said you left in such a hurry this morning that you forgot your prescribed medication. Don't neglect your postpartum lochia discharge. or you'll need a DC procedure. No woman should endure that twice. True. The doctor did prescribe lochia-expelling medication that looked nearly identical to what she handed me. But I knew these couldn't possibly be the same pills. I took it and frowned. These pills are as big as my fingernails. I can never swallow them whole. I'll go cut them in the kitchen. Lu Qingqing meant to follow me into the kitchen, but Debeo suddenly pestered her to turn on the TV, while loudly venting to her about that deadbeat Jiang Song's irresponsibility. I swiftly rummaged through her kitchen medicine cabinet and swapped in 3 calcium tablets. Good thing I already knew the layout of her place like the back of my hand. Just then, I spotted a cardboard box hidden inside the gas cabinet. I nudged the cardboard aside with my foot and saw a whole box of black charcoal. Looking back at those 3 pills she'd given me, it suddenly all made sense. Sleeping pills plus charcoal burning. All she needed was for me to fall asleep before sending the housekeeper away, perfectly staging my suicide in her home when the time comes. Just say my marriage was failing. Depression got the better of me, and I couldn't take it anymore. 8. If she could drug me, why can't I return the favor? Holding the calcium tablets and water, I swallowed them in front of her and grimaced. You have no idea how much I hate taking medicine, such a hassle. Seeing me swallow the pills, Lu Qingqing sighed in relief. How will you get better if you refuse medication? I stole a discreet glance at her abdomen. My mouth feels bland, I said. Then retreated to my room under the pretense of charging my phone, emerging with 5 misoprostol tablets the doctor had prescribed. This medication induces uterine contractions to help expel lochia, but can just as easily trigger a miscarriage. Carrying the pills into the kitchen, I opened the fridge. This cream cake you bought Debeo yesterday will spoil soon. Let's finish it together. No sense wasting it. As I spoke, I picked up the cake knife ready to slice it. Lu Qingqing was just waiting for me to get drowsy, too preoccupied to care about anything else as she sat in the living room helping Debeo pick cartoons. With quick movements, I crushed the pills into powder and dusted them over the cake like sugar, both white and indistinguishable. Maybe it was the pregnancy, or perhaps her good mood from the nearing success of her plan, but Lu Qingqing, usually sugar-averse, actually joined me in eating the cake and finished most of it. We chatted over the meal, mostly venting about Jiang Song and his mother. Gotta admit, she's quite the actress. After about half an hour, I faked a yawn, getting sleepy. I'll take a nap. You still have work later, right? Lu Qingqing nodded. Go rest. I'm swamped today and might work overtime. The fridge is empty. I'll have the housekeeper buy groceries for dinner. Stay home with the kids. I'll make sure she hurries back. This is when they'll strike. I nodded with a smile. Got it. Go ahead with your work. I went back to my room and pretended to sleep, then heard Lu Qingqing telling Debeo to watch TV quietly and stay put, while instructing the nanny to put Xiaobei to sleep in the crib before urging her to hurry out for groceries. Shortly after, I heard her enter the kitchen. 5 minutes later, Lu Qingqing emerged from the kitchen and left directly, after waiting a few more minutes to make sure she wasn't coming back. I bolted out of bed straight to the kitchen, turned off the gas and threw open the windows to air the place out. Thank God, the charcoal hadn't caught fire yet, though it was still pretty hot. I immediately got Debao's shoes on, scooped up Xiaobao, and called my late parents' close friends, begging them to take the kids temporarily while promising to arrange a nanny so they wouldn't be overburdened. Fortunately, their old friendship with my parents and soft spot for the younger generation made them agree right away. After dropping off the child, I changed into all black attire and headed to the city's only maternity hospital. Women undergoing biochemical abortions are treated on the 2nd floor. Lu Qingqing's pregnancy was over 3 months along. Even if miscarried, she'd definitely require a DC procedure. I strolled casually past room after room until finally hearing Lu Qingqing's furious, agonized voice at one doorway. What? Nobody at my place, useless idiot. I told you to keep watch downstairs earlier, why didn't you go? There's no doubt she's furious with Jiang Song. 9. I don't want to hear your excuses. You're still asking where I am. Listen, if she's run off, she must have figured it out. I can't show my face anymore. You handle her yourself, or you'll never see me or our child again. I don't care how you do it, just get it done. After hanging up her call, I turned and walked back to the nurse's station. Hello, I said, showing a photo of Lu Qingqing and me. Could I ask about my friend here? I just learned something happened, but she's too upset to see anyone. How is she doing now? The nurse glanced at the photo and nodded understandingly. Just be there for her. She's had a chemical pregnancy and was just admitted. Any known cause? I pressed. The busy nurse replied impatiently. Many young women experience miscarriages these days for various reasons: lifestyle habits, accidental injuries, or even genetic factors. It's hard to pinpoint. Besides, her baby was only 3 months along. That stage is inherently unstable, so they'd never trace it back to the drugs I slipped her. After thanking them, I hurried out of the hospital. From Lu Qingqing's phone call with Jiang Song earlier, she's clearly trying to keep this from him. That family only cares about their precious grandson and my money. Their desperation to destroy me all comes down to that child. I've had 2 C-sections already. They know perfectly well I won't be having more children. If Lu Qingqing loses her baby, Jiang Song might not be in such a hurry to kill me. I checked into a hotel, had a bite to eat, and tried to anticipate Jiang Song's next move. Lu Qingqing has made it clear he won't let me off the hook. The next morning, my phone rang, Jiang Song's name flashing on the caller ID. I answered. What do you want now? Cut the act. Jiang Song sighed on the other end. I know you're aware of my affair with Lu Qingqing, and that you hate us both. To be frank, I never really wanted to kill you. Meet me outside. Let's discuss the divorce like civilized people. I just want the money, clean break, no hard feelings. Don't worry about what I might do to you. Let's meet somewhere public. I agreed to talk. After all, the divorce isn't finalized yet, and we need closure. Since there's no avoiding it, I might as well face it head-on. True to his word, Jiang Song arranged to meet me in a restaurant lobby. Though there were few people inside, the main road was clearly visible outside, easy enough to call for help if needed. When I arrived, he and his mother were already seated. I sat down across from them and forced a laugh. Go on, what do you want? My mother-in-law bristled and was about to speak. But Jiang Song stopped her. I know I was wrong, and I'm sorry, but Chin, you have to believe me. I never wanted to do that. I was forced into it. I had no choice. The old woman muttered under her breath. If it weren't for my grandson's sake, that vile, loose woman would never have crossed our threshold. Mom, Jiang Song shot her a glare. Seems he's quite protective of Lu Qingqing. Guess he's genuinely fallen for Lu Qingqing. Gotta admit she's got some impressive tricks up her sleeve. Your family's standards are quite particular, I sneered. She's gotta be beautiful, rich, obedient, and willing to bear your sons, otherwise, she gets disposed of. Is that it? 10. Have a drink to cool off, Jiang Song said placatingly. I know it's tough for you too, but since things have come to this, why don't we meet halfway? Qingqing told me your parents left you extra money. That counts as hiding assets, doesn't it? Here's the deal, give me all our current assets. And I promise I'll never bother you again or let Qingqing make trouble for you. Fair enough. Looking at Jiang Song's face, my fingers itched to punch him. I did love you too, but feelings, they're complicated like that. Jiang Song wiped his face with a remorseful expression. Let's just set each other free. Okay, I toyed with my phone pensively. I'll think about it. If I agreed right away, that'd be downright unbelievable. But mother-in-law clearly wasn't happy with Jiang Song's arrangements. Tugging desperately at his arm, with no other choice, Jiang Song led her to another table to talk. Before leaving, he said solicitously, you haven't eaten yet, have you? I just ordered these. Eat while you think. We won't disturb you. We'll just wait nearby. Wait for me. More like keep an eye on me. I stared pensively at the glass of orange juice before me. I don't know what's in here, but it's probably something that could kill me. Poisoning me at a restaurant means the evidence gets cleared quickly. This place is old with no cameras, no proof, no case. Without concrete evidence, suspicion alone won't hold up in court. If the dose is small, the effects might not hit until I'm home. As my only family, he could claim I overdosed due to postpartum depression. With his signature, they'd cremate me before anyone asks questions. The mother-son duo keeps whispering nearby. I catch fragments. Sounds like his mom's urging him to squeeze more money out of my inheritance. I took out my phone and tapped on Lu Qingqing's profile picture. Jiang Song says he wants to reconcile with me and split the assets 50-50. He also claims everything that happened before was forced by you. After sending that message, I turned off my phone. Without her child, Lu Qingqing has already lost her bargaining chip. If she loses control over Jiang Song too, she'll probably lose her mind. Jiang Song's phone rang almost immediately, and even from where I stood, I could faintly hear Lu Qingqing's furious voice through the receiver. Jiang Song hurriedly took his phone to a quieter spot to explain, with his mother hot on his heels trying to eavesdrop. Seizing the opportunity, I switched our glasses and quickly poured half my drink into the potted plant behind the chair. Just as Jiang Song finally managed to calm Lu Qingqing down and returned, he caught me standing up. I agree to your terms. Give me 2 days to settle the assets, then we'll divorce. I'll take our child abroad and never see you again, I told him. Jiang Song gave me a long, inscrutable look before nodding mechanically. Fine. Before walking out, I glanced back to see him staring blankly at the nearly empty cup in front of my seat. His mother kept fussing about waste, polishing off my untouched pastries and both their drinks. The waiter stood by with visible disdain. waiting to clear their plates once they finished eating. Lu Qingqing texted me, "Don't get cocky, cocky." I'm not cocky, just heartbroken. That night, Jiang Song called me, screaming into the phone, "You fucking bitch, how dare you hurt my mother." 11. Now I know what it means to be shamelessly confident without reason. I chuckled on the phone. "What's wrong with your mom?" Jiang Song froze on the other end of the line, speechless. "I'm recording this." I pressed on. "Care to explain exactly what I did to your mother?" He didn't dare speak. What could he possibly say? That he tried poisoning me but ended up killing his own mother by mistake. "I've never bought any illegal substances. Have you? Think you'd survive an investigation?" I pressed further. Jiang Song cursed violently before slamming the phone down. He wouldn't dare call the police. Any investigation would only expose his own crimes. But I wasn't about to let him off the hook. I sent her the hospital room number of Lu Qingqing that I'd photographed yesterday. "Don't worry, your mother won't be lonely. Your precious son has already paved her way." Didn't she want to hold her grandchild? Her wish came true 6 months early. If you don't believe me, go check this maternity hospital room right now. See if your darling Qingqing just had a DC procedure. Jiang Song didn't reply, but I know he saw it. I sent him a few more photos Lu Qingqing posted on her alt account, some of her clubbing, others with a big mixed-gender party crowd. I asked him, "You two hooked up the year before last, didn't you? So tell me, how many young studs has she been keeping around these years? Take a wild guess why she'd miscarry out of the blue and hide it from you. Whose kid was it really, yours or someone else's? You think she'd ever come clean? You're just another tool she's using to squeeze money out of me, you idiot." I'm just spouting nonsense without caring if it's true or not. Jiang Song just lost his mother. He's emotionally volatile right now. Who knows what someone like that might do? I wouldn't miss this kind of drama for the world. I dragged myself out of bed, put on that outfit again, and headed to the hospital. Just then, several police cars came screeching in. SWAT teams rushed upstairs as chaos erupted throughout the hospital, people fleeing everywhere, screams piercing the air. Word spread that a knife man was attacking people upstairs, leaving a post-miscarriage girl barely alive after brutal slashes. Soon after, Jiang Song was dragged down with bloodshot eyes while Lu Qingqing, drenched in blood, was wheeled into emergency. Specialists from other hospitals swarmed in, commandeering the maternity hospital's operating room for critical surgery. I saw that young nurse again. "Hello, may I visit my friend later?" The nurse recognized me and sighed. "We'll see. No guarantees she'll make it out alive." She didn't make it, but before she passed, when her family hadn't arrived from out of town yet, I managed to prove I was her closest confidant and was allowed to see her one last time. Lu Qingqing burst into tears the moment she saw me. "Why? You'd drop 100 grand on bags and jewelry without batting an eye. I'm prettier than you. Why can't I be the one? For 20 years, I've envied you, and hated you." By the time firefighters broke down the door and the police reached him, all they could do was ask him to claim the body, as if she'd ever stooped to trash like Jiang Song. But anything I have, she'd snatch in a heartbeat. Besides, wrapping Jiang Song around her finger would get her hands on my money. Her parents divorced and abandoned her. She struggled alone in the big city for years, still renting with mountains of debt. The luxury goods bought on credit couldn't satisfy her vanity. They only dragged her deeper into the abyss. Even on her deathbed, she believed I'd only succeeded by being born into better circumstances. At dawn, I left the hospital to see my daughters sleeping peacefully, their heads nestled together. The uncle and aunt looked at me with concern, as if sensing something was wrong, yet considerately refrained from prying. Not long after, Jiang Song was sentenced to death with immediate execution for the premeditated murder of his own mother, a heinous crime committed in cold blood. I had no desire to see him, just as he couldn't be bothered to visit us before our deaths in our previous lives. In the days to come, I had no intention of remarrying. My only wish was to live peacefully with my 2 daughters. Nothing matters except life and death. Story 2. The night we divorced, Jiang Song abandoned his fortune of tens of billions and chose to commit suicide. Before his death, I hated his disabled leg and resented him for forcing me into marriage, until I accidentally found his diary while tidying up his belongings. It recorded his deep, long-term infatuation with me over the past 10 years. I didn't realize how deeply he loved me. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day I signed the divorce agreement. This time, I held his trembling hand. "Jiang Song, let's start over." 1 week after the divorce, I saw the news on the hot search that Jiang Song had committed suicide. The media spoke of this financial genius with a tone of regret. He's a billionaire, they say, and a young prodigy. No one knows the reason for Jiang Song's suicide. I'm currently on a tropical island vacation, celebrating the end of this marriage. The old butler arrived in a hurry. His hair was already white. He said Jiang Xian had made his arrangements clear, and all his assets were left to me. That's wealth that would take me 100 lifetimes to spend. I was at a loss. In my eyes, my marriage to Jiang Xian was nothing more than a business alliance. He had a long-cherished unrequited love, and I bore the heavy pressure of the company's financial chain. After marriage, our relationship was cold, and Jiang Xian bought me a mansion worth a huge price in the city center. But he himself never lived in this so-called marital home. I always thought he hated me, and I hoped to end this marriage. However, after signing the documents, the old housekeeper hesitated for a long time and said he wanted to take me somewhere. Master really likes you. The past year of marriage has been the happiest time in his life. You also know he has a disability, and he has always been self-conscious, thinking he's not worthy of you, some things he was too afraid to say. But I think the lady should know, too, that house is near my high school. When I opened the door, there was a large portrait of me hanging on the wall. It is an oil painting of me in a wedding dress. Me and Jiang Xian never had a wedding, and I have never worn a wedding dress, but the me on the canvas is smiling very happily, and every light reflection in the folds of the wedding dress is carefully painted. Every stroke of the brush is a sincere infatuation with me. The signature at the bottom is Jiang Xian's name. There is also a line of small text written behind. Shui is always happy. In this house of 100 square meters, every corner has my traces. There is a photo of me playing the piano at the high school anniversary event, a notebook with my name written on it, the ugly doll I made in art class. There's even a group photo. I gave a speech at the graduation ceremony as an outstanding student. The younger version of Jiang Xian was in the audience. He was holding his phone, taking a photo with me through the crowd. In the photo, the handsome young man was smiling shyly with his lips pressed together. Later, when I became an actor, every role I played and every product I endorsed could be found in this room. Every detail of the decoration in this room seemed to say that Jiang Xian loved me deeply. But before the arranged marriage, I had clearly heard him say, "The wedding doesn't need to be held, don't let anyone know about my relationship with Chu Shui." At that time, his tone was fast and urgent, full of disdain, as if marrying me was a forced task. On the day of registering their marriage, Jiang Xian stared at the marriage certificate for a while. His first words, "The money has been transferred." The origin of this marriage was that my family needed financial support. I was in a disadvantaged position in this relationship and had already prepared myself for being treated badly, but I was still humiliated by this sentence. I smiled, keeping my tone restrained and distant. "Mr. Jiang is really generous. Nice to do business with you." The memory ended. I put down the oil painting in my hands. As I stood up, I suddenly felt dizzy, my vision went dark, and I fainted. 3. When I opened my eyes again, I had reincarnated. I could hear the loud music from the bar. I hadn't fully grasped what was happening when I was suddenly embraced by someone beside me. Today is the perfect day for Shui and Jiangjia's crippled man to get divorced. Everyone, raise your glasses and drink heartily. Divorce party. No drinking, no fun. Divorce party. I felt a chill all over, and suddenly remembered the situation now. Last time, I sent the divorce agreement to Jiang Xian, and then had a party with the encouragement of friends in the circle. After getting drunk, I met Jiang Xian, who rarely came over. In the living room, he was holding the signed divorce agreement. I thought he was also eager to get it over with, and I smiled and said happy divorce to him. I completely ignored Jiang Xian's soulless state. Then came the news of his death. No, I shot up to my feet. I rushed out while everyone was shocked. Someone tried to grab me. "Shui, where are you going? Zhou Huai is about to arrive." "Right. I specifically set this up for you too, hoping to matchmake you." Zhou Huai was my childhood friend. In the eyes of our friends, we were a broken golden couple. I didn't even look back. I'm not divorced from Jiang Xian. We are not planning to get a divorce. Also, don't call him lame guy. I don't like that. 4. The banquet hall was bustling with people, clinking glasses, and chatting. The call to Jiang Xian never got through. I was so worried I started sweating on my forehead. Coincidentally, I heard some people talking behind the screen. This deal was taken by Zhang's lame guy again. He doesn't have a wife or kids. Why is he working so hard? I heard he's married, but no one knows who his wife is. She probably doesn't even look at him. Jiang Xian had a serious car accident when he was young, and he had his left lower leg amputated. It made me clench my teeth in anger. Jiang Xiyuan is tough in business, and these people can't compete with him, so they can only gather behind his back and vent their frustration. I took a few steps forward, about to rush in and argue. Then I saw Jiang Xiyuan in the distance. He stood out in the crowd. He was wearing a well-tailored suit, with his raven black hair combed back, revealing a full forehead. His features were sharp and handsome, tall and elegant. He looked like a model in a luxury magazine. Jiang Xiyuan had a serious car accident when he was young and had his lower left leg amputated. He wore a prosthetic leg, looking dashing and flawless. Jiang Xiyuan is almost perfect in every way, therefore, these defeated rivals of his are particularly keen on attacking his missing leg, a bunch of good-for-nothings. Seeing the living Jiang Xiyuan, my eyes welled up with tears. Jiang Xiyuan, I couldn't help shouting loudly. All eyes turned to me, murmurs spread, isn't that Chu Shui, that actress? Wow, even the disabled man has a celebrity mistress. The more incapable men are, the more women they want to keep as mistresses, proving they are capable. Yet, at the moment our eyes met, his eyes showed no trace of surprise, but instead, he turned his body slightly. It seemed he didn't want to see me at all. 5. I quickened my pace and walked to Jiang Xian's side. I naturally took his arm. At the moment of physical contact, Jiang Xian stiffened. His voice was cold and hard when he spoke. If you want a divorce, have a lawyer come and talk to me. The two companies are deeply economically connected, and this kind of divorce case dragging on for years is very common. If it were before, hearing this, I would only think that Jiang Xian was mocking me with money. Now, I know, he just doesn't want a divorce. My heart ached, and I was about to explain, Mr. Jiang, why don't you introduce the lady by your side? It's the host of today's banquet. I know Jiang Xian was trying to secure an international big order tonight. These people around are all unscrupulous competitors. The couple seems to be very affectionate, so they value the stability of their partner's family. A man with a sense of family responsibility is a trustworthy partner. I smiled on my face and tightened my grip on Jiang Xian's hand. Introduce yourself in fluent French. I'm his wife. 6. At the banquet, I drank a lot of champagne. Not only did people keep toasting me, but they also asked about my relationship with Jiang Xian. I patiently introduced them. We've been married for a year, and our relationship is very good. Oh, you didn't know. Maybe you're not worthy enough to be informed. I showed off our affection in front of the few men who had been gossiping just now. Jiang Xian followed me obediently the whole time, his white jade-like face slightly flushed. His eyes occasionally fell on me, but when I looked back at him, he immediately avoided my gaze. When the banquet ended, I was too drunk to tell. I didn't dare to let him carry me. Considering Jiang Xian's leg injury, I just held on to him and wouldn't let go, like a koala. There was no other way. The memories from the previous life were too tragic. I really feared that if I didn't watch him closely, Jiang Xian might do something foolish again. The Maybach smoothly drove into the garage. This villa was bought by Jiang Xian for me after marriage. Our relationship was tense, and he had never stayed here overnight. I lay on the sofa with a hazy mind, still holding on to Jiang Xian's hand. He crouched beside me, looking at me with a complex expression. Why are you being so kind to me all of a sudden? Aren't you the one who wanted to divorce me? I was too drunk to understand what he was saying. I just watched his mouth moving up and down. Jiang Xian's lips were full and pink. He had just drunk water, and his lips still had a moist sheen. It made my throat dry, and I couldn't hold back anymore. I directly pulled his tie, quickly licked his lips. Sweet, one more time. Before I could do it again, Jiang Xian panicked and covered my lips. His ears, cheeks, even his neck were red. Do you know what you're doing? I don't know. I just know I want a bit more sweetness. Seeing his resistance, I directly grabbed his neck. Jiang Xian didn't move, waiting for me to kiss him. Before I could get to his mouth, the phone screen lit up. It was a message from Zhou Huai. Isn't this a celebration of your divorce? Why did you leave first? I want to get the land in Dongjiang. Help me check the bid documents of the cripple. Maybe you two shouldn't get divorced, just for my sake. My phone is just by the sofa. The screen is locked, and all the messages are visible. Jiang Xian suddenly froze. In an instant, his eyes turned red, his whole body was trembling. Everything you did tonight was for him, right? Hold me, kiss me, tell someone else that you're my wife. Is it all for him? Jiang Xian seemed to be breaking apart. His eyelashes trembled slightly, and his black eyes were filled with pain, but I was already drunk and didn't understand what he was saying. I just thought the way he looked with tears in his eyes was very beautiful. Seeing it but not being able to have it, I huffed and puffed twice. No matter what you're doing it for. Jiang Xian seemed to have made up his mind. As long as we don't get a divorce, you can have anything you want. 7. My ears had an automatic filtering system, and I only heard the words, you can have anything you want. I want to kiss. After saying that, I straightened my back and went to kiss. However, Jiang Xian dodged. You don't need to do this. I'll give you the information about the Dongjiang development case right now. Me. What do I need this for? Before I could ask, the annoying phone rang. It was a friend from the party tonight calling. Shui, Zhou Huai is here, and he brought you flowers. Hurry up. This big happy event of divorce must be celebrated all night long. Even though I hung up the phone as quickly as possible, Jiang Xian still heard every word clearly. His light in the eyes slowly faded out. I'll make you a sobriety soup, and after you drink it, Zhang Shu will send you off. I know you were drunk and mistook someone. The kiss tonight. I know my place, I won't misunderstand. I grabbed his hand. Are you willing to let me go, Jiang Xian? As long as we don't get a divorce, anything is possible. In my previous life, I was blind, but Jiang Xian was also a fool who didn't know how to speak. I deleted that person's WeChat in front of him. Actually, my relationship with these people is just average. They are all friends of Zhou Huai, Jiang Xian. The person I like is you. Before getting married, my mother showed me a photo of Jiang Xian, handsome. I immediately said yes, to make sure he wasn't just a photo trick. I even secretly drove to Jiang's building to stake it out, but there were so many misunderstandings after marriage. I thought Jiang Xian hated me, and my pride wouldn't let me back down, so I pretended I didn't care about him at all. The budding feelings were directly extinguished. But Jiang Xian didn't believe my true words. Enough, Shui, I've seen the chat records. He closed his eyes, and his jet black lashes fluttered slightly. Uncontrollable pain. I know you hate me, but you always lie to me, and I will feel sad. It's said that a man's tears are a woman's aphrodisiac. I feel like I have a lot of energy right now. Jiang Xian didn't want to talk to me anymore, so he grabbed the black gold cane beside him and used it to stand up. I watched, and just felt that broken cane was annoying me. So I grabbed Jiang Xian's shirt with one hand and kicked the cane with the other. I kicked it weakly. Not only did I not kick it away, but I also hit my toes. It hurts. My face twisted into a frown. You and this broken stick, teaming up to bully me. Are you going to kick me out? Is this how you treat your husband? Jiang Xian didn't move. I stared at him angrily. A long time. Where are you hurt? Let me apply some medicine for you. When I looked down, I couldn't even see a scratch, let alone a red mark. I didn't care about anything else. I just reached out and hugged Jiang Xian's neck, up close. I felt even more that Jiang Xian's appearance was exactly to my liking. You smell so good. I acted like a hooligan, sniffing around in Jiang Xian's arms. I felt a certain part of me that was pressed against him start to become unusually hot. Then, I accidentally fell asleep in his arms. 8. The next day, I woke up lying on the big bed in the master bedroom, wearing a silk robe. Jiang Xian was nowhere to be seen. There was a document and a USB drive on the bedside table. Opening the cover, it was none other than the bidding documents for the Dongjiang development project. My hand shook. Did Jiang Xian think that everything I did last night was for this development case? I held back my anger and called him. The call connected quickly, but his voice became cold again, as if the Jiang Xian who was obedient and affectionate last night had disappeared. You wanted something. I've left it by the bed. Do you think I'm going to give this to Zhou Huai? Go ahead, give it to someone else if you want. Okay, wait for me. After hanging up the phone, I felt a bit defeated. Jiang Xian doesn't believe me at all, but it's okay. Anyway, his heart is already mine. As long as I have him by my side, he will inevitably look at me with that moist gaze, longing, yet afraid of being hurt. I didn't know anything about the previous life, but it's still not too late to make up for everything now. I quickly got dressed and rushed downstairs. I drove directly to Jiang Xian's house. This mansion is located next to the most famous scenic area in the city. It may seem modest, but every detail exudes an unapproachable sense of wealth. The old butler was waiting at the door after being notified in advance. He was pacing back and forth anxiously. I looked at his still jet black hair and smiled widely. I'm taking Jiang Kaiyan with me. 9. I don't agree. 2 hours later, Jiang Kaiyan rushed back. What met him was almost packed luggage. I didn't even lift my head. Your opposition is invalid. Then he turned to the butler and said, this tie would look great on Jiang Kaiyan. I need to take it. Xiaobo took it and quickly put it into the suitcase. Just go now. What else is missing? Madam can call me. I'll have someone send it over. After saying that, he pushed his suitcase and walked out. His eagerness was written on his face. He wanted to immediately put Jiang Xian into my car. Jiang Xian looked at the bedroom that I had cleared out half of. His expression was a bit bewildered. Do you like this house? So you want me to move out? No, I want to take you with me. From now on, you have to live with me. I painted a beautiful future for Jiang Xian. Once you move in, every morning you open your eyes, you'll see me. I'll give you a good morning kiss, and have breakfast with you. We'll hold hands walking, go to work separately, and then come home together. I thought Jiang Xian was happy about the banquet, but he remained silent, looking down, and finally spoke. What do you want? What price must I pay for such a life? To exchange the Dongjiang project for divorce, I was stunned. A deep sense of sorrow arose in my heart. Jiang Xian, I just want you to stay alive. 10. Not long before departure, I got up to look for Jiang Xian. As I passed by the corner of the corridor, I suddenly heard the butler's voice. He was talking on and on, giving instructions. Master, I think the lady seems to like you very much. You should be more enthusiastic too. Jiang Xian, she doesn't like me, she just needs me. She has someone she likes. And I used underhanded methods to keep her by my side. The butler remained silent for a moment. No matter what, not getting a divorce is a good thing, and living together is even better. There's always a chance. Jiang Xian chuckled self-deprecatingly. No one will ever love me. Before, I always did everything best, but I couldn't even get a word of praise from my parents. Besides, I'm now a disabled person. After living together, when she sees my leg, she might hate me even more. The butler's face flashed with a hint of pity, but the words he wanted to say were not yet spoken. Jiang Xian interrupted. Jiang Yan's birthday is coming up. Help me pick a gift for him. Don't consider the price. I'm leaving first. The back seat of the Bentley. I looked through the car window's reflection at Jiang Xian. I was thinking about the conversation I had just heard. Jiang Yan. I have heard of this name before. He is Jiang Xian's younger brother. Zhou Huai once mentioned it in a sarcastic tone. Jiang Xian is just a stepping stone, and in the end, everything of the Jiang family will definitely belong to his younger brother. The neon lights outside flickered across Jiang Xian's handsome eyebrows. He looked down at the document without any expression. It seemed like the scene I accidentally caught was just a trick of my mind. A child who doesn't know how to cry and whine will grow up and deceive himself into saying he wants nothing. I moved closer and leaned on Jiang Xian's shoulder, like comforting a puppy. I gently patted the back of his head. I guess Jiang Xian rarely has physical contact with people, and even a little closeness would make his whole body tense. I poked him in annoyance. Relax, I'm tired, this is the price. If you live with me, you have to be my human pillow. Jiang Xian didn't say anything, but he relaxed his muscles obediently. I found a comfortable spot and smelled the faint sandalwood scent on Jiang Xian's body. Sleepiness suddenly came over me. Half awake, I suddenly heard Jiang Xian whispering softly, "This is a reward." 11. The car stopped at the villa gate. I walked ahead of Jiang Xian, imagining the future. The closet can make some space. Put your clothes in the master bedroom. Jiang Xian listened quietly, his lips slightly curled upward. His half-lowered eyes concealed anticipation, clearly showing he was in a good mood. At that moment, a figure stepped out from the shadows by the door. "Why did you come back so late? I called you but you didn't answer." Zhou Huai wore a carefree smile on his face. When he spoke to me, his tone was familiar, showing a sense of closeness. He greeted Jiang Xian in a casual manner. I borrowed Xue for a few words. "I hope you don't mind." "Oh no." I turned my head to look at Jiang Xian. Sure enough, as soon as Zhou Huai appeared, Jiang Xian's eyes dimmed. He took a long step and passed me with his suitcase. He moved quickly, and I didn't even have time to explain. The person next to me, Zhou Huai, was still talking incessantly. "Why did you come back with Jiang Xian? You said you hated being in the same room as him." I interrupted directly. "I blocked you. Don't come looking for me anymore." Zhou Huai didn't take it seriously. "Is the mistress angry with me again? Did the paparazzi catch me hanging out with some celebrity girl? I was just having fun with them. I waited for you all day today, except for the materials from the Dongjiang project. I won't accept any other compensations." I was distracted thinking about some past events. My father is a nouveau riche, and after he made his fortune, he transferred me to a private school. I'm thin, short, and plain-looking. I was targeted by some bad classmates and almost became a victim of bullying. It was Zhou Huai who saved me, so I have always considered him a good friend, except for Jiang Xian, who is seen as a business marriage with an unhappy relationship. There are no other males around me besides Zhou Huai. That might be the reason why he is so confident. I said coldly, "It doesn't matter who you play with. I don't care that much about you. Don't be so conceited. Jiang Xian is my husband. How could I hurt his interests for you?" Zhou Huai's smile froze. "What are you talking about? You used to hate Jiang Xian and wanted to divorce him, right? The Dongjiang project is just a small project for him. How can you not help me with this?" I looked at Zhou Huai's face. It just felt unfamiliar. Last time, when Jiang Xian died, he left all his money to me. After gaining a huge fortune, Zhou Huai actually proposed to me. My so-called friendship, turns out it was just a mobile vault in others' eyes. Zhou Huai, I'm very grateful for the help you gave me when I was young. That's why I've always been trying hard to repay you, even arranging connections for you to get into the entertainment industry, but you always subtly interfere with my relationship with Jiang Xian. Let's not contact each other anymore. 12. When I entered, Jiang Xian was standing in the living room. His suitcase was by his legs, showing no sign of being opened. Me, why didn't you have someone take care of it? Jiang Xian glanced at me from the corner of his eye. I thought I would have to move out as is. Jiang Xian and I are just friends. No, not even that anymore. You don't need to explain to me. I won't interfere with your freedom. Tisk, you're clearly disappointed. Why don't you just admit it? I walked over and gently hugged Jiang Xian. No, I have a mouth. I need to explain. I need to speak. I don't like Zhou Huai. I like a heartbroken puppy. Although he's pretending not to care now. Can I go pack my luggage now? Even after my strong request, Jiang Xian still refused to sleep in the master bedroom. It's okay, I have legs and I can walk. I slipped into his room directly. There was the sound of water running from the bathroom. I sat on the edge of the bed. My mind was full of what the butler told me in the afternoon. Zhang's and his wife's marriage is a business alliance. They have no feelings for each other at all. After the young master was born, they almost never lived together, each having many partners around them. As the only heirs of the two families, they had very strict requirements for the young master. Sometimes, these requirements were too harsh for a child, but he was always excellent, until the car accident. General parents would feel sorry for their child, but Jiang and his wife decided to have another child. That day, I silently listened to Jiang Xian's growth story. I just found it absurd and ridiculous. Parents who had no feelings for each other suddenly had a great relationship when raising their second child, becoming a happy family of 3. Only, Jiang Xian was an unwanted outsider, so, only after I proposed divorce did he choose to leave the world in despair. There was nothing worth him staying for. It was because of this reason that even when I reached out to him this time, he still didn't dare to. He was afraid to believe that he could attain happiness. The sound of water stopped. Jiang Xian walked out wearing long sleeves and long pants. His wet hair hung over his forehead. Water droplets slid down his high nose bridge, all the way to his chin. Then they continued down his collar. I suddenly felt a bit thirsty. When I looked at him, Jiang Xian's expression was a bit panicked. Why are you here? Because spouses should sleep in the same room. I spoke confidently. You have to fulfill your duties. Jiang Xian remained silent for a moment. He asked with difficulty, look down, lower your gaze. I lowered my gaze. I took in Jiang Xian's broad shoulders, narrow waist, and long legs, nodded. I am very satisfied. You see me like a normal person now, because I am wearing a prosthesis. Jiang Xian looked embarrassed and painful, frowning, eyes were red. Shui, I don't know why you suddenly want to be nice to me, but when you see the wound, you will be scared. I hugged him with concern. No, I swear to you. I don't know why Jiang Xian has such a heavy psychological trauma. He is so excellent and shining, but he suffers from inferiority because of this small problem. I pushed him to the edge of the bed, then I turned over and sat on his legs. I don't mind it at all. Even if you are in a wheelchair I won't be afraid, because, I lowered my voice and leaned close to Jiang Xian's ear. I blew on his earlobe, and said, because I can move on my own. I hugged Jiang Xian, like a chick pecking rice. I slowly nibbled. He gradually became aroused. His whole body was unbearably hot. Wait, Jiang Xian seemed to have made a huge decision. He took off his prosthetic leg. In the empty pant leg, I could even see the amputated surface of his leg from the middle. His voice trembled. Did you see it? 13. In this moment, Jiang Xian closed his eyes, as if awaiting the judgment of a deity. Fear, expectation. The blue veins on his forearm, and the trembling eyelashes. If Shui feels disgusted, that's fine. After all, the worst outcome has already been imagined hundreds of times in his mind, maybe like his younger brother, scared by his leg, screaming and saying he's a monster, or even vomiting immediately. Even if that's the case, it's okay. In the anxious waiting, Jiang Xian felt the dampness of the liquid on his skin. There was also a soft touch. He opened his eyes and saw the girl with a tear-streaked face in front of him. She gently placed a kiss on his leg. His eyes only showed compassion. Jiang Xian, are you in pain? His heart instantly felt at ease. The kiss on his leg seemed to trigger some switch. Jiang Xian suddenly changed his approach. He became extremely dominant. He bent down, and a passionate kiss landed on the corner of his eye, on his lips, rolling down all the way. I was so dazed from the kiss. Opening my eyes, I saw Jiang Xian quickly take off his shirt. Moonlight poured down, and I could see everything clearly. A slim and solid chest, and faintly visible six-pack abs. I couldn't help but reach out. The touch was as expected, smooth and warm. Don't. Jiang Xian's voice was a bit out of breath. Am I the kind of person who obeys without question? He immediately touched my waist twice. The next second, Jiang Xian caught my hand, through the gaps between his fingers, and interlaced our fingers. He looked down at me with eyes full of burning, passionate emotions. Shui, Shui. He repeated my name over and over, his voice was gentle. But the intensity of his actions made me a bit unable to bear. Jiang Xian, let go. I need to go back to my room. I don't want to play anymore. How come you have so much energy? I really can't anymore. 14. The next day, I woke up with a swollen mouth from the kiss. Week all over. You're awake. Jiang Xian was sitting by the bed watching me. He leaned in to try to kiss me again. I quickly pulled the blanket over myself. If you try again, I'll get angry. A man who has tasted romance is really scary. I can't handle it at all. From that day on, Jiang Xian just wants to stick to me 24 hours a day, like a 1-meter, giant human-shaped accessory, meet via video call, all documents are delivered to the villa by the assistant. I really can't take it anymore. I tried to persuade him to go to the company. Jiang Xian showed a disappointed expression. His eyelashes half lowered, looking pitiful. Don't you want to see me anytime, me? I kept reminding myself that he was just pretending to be pitiful. Shall I accompany you to the company? As long as I get out of this home environment, then I won't accidentally be taken to bed again. In the elevator, I had my mask and hat on tightly. There were 2 young girls next to me chatting. The Mid-Autumn Festival gift definitely included Snow Intentions endorsed product. I said so. I said there must be someone in the office who is a fellow fan, secretly using their purchasing authority to support the business, but I asked, and the office said these things were added by the president's office. President's office. Is it a certain secretary's sister who also likes Shui? She has good taste. Listening to their conversation, I suddenly remembered something. My agent once mentioned to me that there was a mysterious figure in my fan circle. The entire fan club structure was built by this person. The main members of the team have professional level work capabilities. Everyone else has appeared in public. Only this mysterious big fan. But they never attend any offline events or chat online. They only provide money and effort. A flicker of doubt flashed in my heart. Could this person be Jiang Xian? I was just about to call my agent to ask about the situation. Her phone call came in immediately. Shui, you were photographed. The first hot search, with my name on it. 15. Hashtag Chu Shui's secret marriage hashtag. When I clicked in, there were all sorts of messages against me. The exposed photos were cleverly framed, showing our silhouettes. The exposed photo has a very ingenious angle, capturing our backs. You can clearly see Jiang Xian's walking stick. There are some paid posters stirring up the comments. They say I married a 20-year-older disabled rich man for money, and that I'm a mistress who climbed up the ladder. Chu Shui is very calculating, and is well known for doing anything for fame. How disgusting. People like this can become famous. The entertainment industry is doomed. Ban her. Kick her out of the entertainment industry. Song Director's movie is clearly an award-winning work. The female lead role is coveted by many. And it's probably the companies behind the scenes colluding against you. The public opinion is currently against you. They are saying you are money-driven and not similar to the original character of the female lead. In Jiang Xian's top-floor office of hundreds of square meters, I was taking the food prepared by the chef out of the takeout bag, comforting the agent. Don't worry, if I were afraid of such trivial tactics, these years would have been in vain. I'll meet with Director Song this afternoon. The agent nodded slightly, asked hesitantly, but, these years I've only known that you're married. What's your husband like? You know, the fans have high standards for the spouses of female stars. If you're dating a man that fans can't stand, they'll definitely unfollow you. Let me know in advance so I can prepare the public relations strategy. I smiled, was about to open his mouth to show off. Upon looking up, he found that Jiang Xian had finished the company meeting early, rushed up. The phone screen was stuck on the Weibo interface, obviously also saw these news. The whole person looked like a defeated and sullen little dog. I'm sorry, I disturbed your work. I'll find someone to take down this message right now. Wait, I held his hand. Why do you want to take it down? I just want to use this opportunity to announce our engagement. Before, I always thought Jiang Xian looked down on me. Later I found out, when facing me, he always put himself in a lower position, even though he had already achieved the top level of success and wealth in the worldly sense. But in front of me, he was still insecure. I touched Jiang Xian's cheek. Don't worry, my fans will definitely like you, because they are just as perverted as me. 16. A few minutes later, facing the heated public opinion, I posted a Weibo. Just 4 characters, straight from the original photo, with a picture attached. In the photo, Jiang Xian looks directly at the lens. No need for lighting or composition to create atmosphere. Just a tough guy. The comment section suddenly flooded with a lot of comments. Is he the brother-in-law? Okay, the beauty didn't marry an ugly man. That's satisfying. Humph. It's photoshopped. Aren't you going to make the nose and jawline look more fake? I'm speechless. being handsome and rich is nothing special. He's a disabled person, you know. Chu Shui is just a gold digger. She's definitely not suitable to be a positive public figure. I'm speechless. Being handsome and rich is nothing special. He's a disabled person, you know. Chu Shui is just a gold digger. She's definitely not suitable to be a positive public figure. You're an idiot, but I didn't insult you. Don't show off your pitiful intelligence. What? You said I have to sacrifice myself and marry a handsome guy for money. Where is this kind of good luck? I'll take a ticket first. This face is really amazing. I believe it's for love, because I've fallen in love at first sight. I was half laying in Jiang Xian's arms scrolling through comments. As soon as I saw something funny, I pointed it out to him. Look, my fans really like you. They all say you're handsome and that we look good together. Jiang Xian's lips curled up. It was obvious he was happy. He grabbed my hand that I was using to swipe the screen. Just now, those comments. Can you take a screenshot and send it to me? I want to give them a gift. There are too many people who praise you. You can't give gifts to all of them. I have plenty of money. I want to give gifts, okay, but I have a condition. I changed my position. I sat on Jiang Xian's legs. I looked into his eyes seriously. I know you have liked me for a long time, but I have a very poor memory. Can you tell me about the past things again? In the previous life, in that house, I witnessed Jiang Xian's unwavering love for me until death. But I hadn't even had a chance to ask the butler when I was reborn. This time, I want to hear Jiang Xian tell me himself. 17. In the hospital room, the young Jiang Xian was lying still in the bed. His parents didn't know he had already woken up. They were still arguing fiercely, blaming each other for not taking care of the child properly. They finally left in anger. They left him in the care of the butler Zhao Bo. Later on, he found out from Zhao Bo that his parents were planning to have another child. Because he was no longer satisfying them, that night, Jiang Xian went to the rooftop secretly. He didn't plan to do anything foolish. He just wanted to stare at the moon for a while. Actually, the moon isn't round enough tonight. On the 15th, both the stars and the moon will appear, and that's when it will be beautiful. You won't be able to see it anymore if you're dead. He then realized there was a girl in the shadow, is also in a wheelchair. Seeing that he didn't answer, the girl continued. You just arrived and don't know yet. The rehabilitation meals here are especially delicious, and the nurse sisters also bring flowers in the morning. It's really a pity that he's dead. Jiang Xian felt that the other person was a bit annoying. He wanted to tell her to shut up, but he couldn't bring himself to say it. The girl quietly stayed by his side, occasionally commenting on the night sky tonight. Maybe. He's just like his mother said, a weak person who needs company. I had my leg amputated. Jiang Xian suddenly spoke and coldly observed the other person's reaction. If she showed those expressions of sympathy, he would tell her to leave. Then you can use a prosthetic, like Iron Man. It's cool. The girl, full of enthusiasm, leaned in and started talking to him. Have you seen superhero movies? Who do you like the most? I started dancing when I was very young. I danced for 10 years, and I originally wanted to become a professional dancer. But now it's not possible anymore. The doctor said I can't do high-intensity exercises anymore. I'll tell you a secret. I originally came to the rooftop to do something foolish, but that day the wind was very strong, like someone was trying to stop me. And suddenly I didn't think not being able to dance was that bad. I can still sunbathe, sleep, and eat. The conversation came to a brief pause. Jiang Xian admitted he was comforted, but the education from childhood told him that people cannot admit their weaknesses and emotional needs. Thank you, Jiang Xian spoke, with a cold and distant politeness. How much money do you need? Oh, the girl's eyes widened. Your comfort is better than my psychologist. I can probably pay you 5,000 yuan per hour. Jiang Xian looked over. He didn't finish his words, hoping the girl opposite him could understand his hint. He wanted her to talk with him a bit more. You can add money. Oh no, I think you hit your head in a car accident. Talking for a few minutes and you want money. The days of rehabilitation training were a rare time of relaxation in Jiang Xian's life. He didn't have to constantly tighten his nerves, being the best child in the entire social circle. The physical pain was still within his tolerance range. Besides, Chu Shui would always come to see him every so often. She seemed to have imagined many things, always thinking that he would secretly commit suicide, so she would appear in front of him from time to time. I brought you an orange. It's really, really delicious. It's so good to be alive. Come on, let's go out in the sun. It's warm and comfortable and it's free. Why do you always wear a mask? You look really good looking, you know. Because he wasn't able to accept his disability from the heart yet. Every time I accidentally see the mirror, I am pulled into the moment of the car accident. He needs time to accept reality. He also wants to take up all of Chu Shui's time. But the other person is a little son. All the patients in the hospital like her. Chu Shui is always followed by a group of little followers, and he is not special at all. Fortunately, Chu Shui also needs him sometimes, for example, scratching his head and trying to solve math problems. He offered to help, but was directly refused. No need, kids who grew up abroad aren't good at math. Jiang Xian, to prove that she was Chinese, Jiang Xian explained the question to her 3 times. You can always ask me in the future. He pretended to be calm, but he was so happy he almost laughed out loud. But there will be no future. That afternoon, his mother's plane arrived, and she quickly processed his discharge and forcibly took him back to the UK. He didn't even get a chance to have a proper farewell. From then on, he would never receive oranges from her again. No one would come to remind him that the night sky was beautiful and that looking at it would make one feel happy. He was sent to a top boarding school in the UK, learned to go to the rooftop to look at the stars alone. I will take a 12-hour flight from London to see her when I miss her. Want to show off my prosthetic leg, but he saw Chu Shui holding hands with another boy. I am Zhou Huai's girlfriend. Jiang Xian left in a daze. Therefore, he missed the following scene. After the girl who confessed left, Chu Shui quickly let go of Zhou Huai's hand. Her expression was annoyed. Next time, don't ask me for this. Every time you need me to cover for you, it's very time-consuming. Please. I've also blocked a lot of bad relationships for you. How dare you not look at me? I'm the school's top guy, the dream of all the girls in the school. Chu Shui sneered and turned up her nose. You don't have that, but it doesn't mean others don't. What you don't have doesn't mean others don't. Chu Shui didn't want to explain anymore and just left. She was a bit restless all the way. She kept looking back. Chu Shui was too lazy to explain any further and just left. Along the way, she is some insecurity. Frequently look back. It seems I missed something important, but it's okay. The important person will overcome all difficulties. Reappear. 18. After officially announcing their relationship with Jiang Xian, his mask fell off. At first, a fan posted a Weibo. Please fellow fans identify. Is this handsome guy I met at the offline event my brother-in-law? With a few blurry photos, the man in the picture was wearing a mask, although wrapped up tightly and standing in a corner. His aura is exceptional. I've met this guy too. I also took a photo. He didn't record a video with his phone, he just stared at Shui with 2 eyes like a searchlight. Great, he's a stalker. We're saved. Oh my god, is this the real thing? A love story where he falls in love with a female celebrity and marries her. So delicious. As more fans joined the discussion, Jiang Xian's fan account was accidentally exposed. It's all full of silly compliments. The boss usually uses this handsome face. At the financial summit, he was expressionless while playing with his phone. When everyone thought he was discussing a deal worth billions, he was posting on Weibo. My wife is so beautiful. I love my wife for a lifetime. Such childish comments. Laughed to death. Leave a coup cheesy for the brother-in-law. Checked my private messages. Found that I had talked to my brother-in-law before, and I had blocked him. The situation is like this. I am a big fan of Shui, and I often post some dreamgirl literature short essays. One day, I suddenly received a private message from my brother-in-law, and the chat record is as follows. Shui's only official husband. Hello. Please don't call Shui wife anymore. Blogger. Shui's only official husband, because she is my wife. We have a marriage certificate. Blogger. Where did this elementary school student come from? Did you finish your summer homework? Your most important thing now is the junior high school entrance exam. Ha ha ha. I'm dying laughing. Let's count the day they got married. The brother-in-law got his hunger for the sister-in-law, trying to seek some attention, but ended up being scolded and blocked. This post was pushed to my homepage. At that time, Jiang Xian came to pick me up after work. As soon as I saw him, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. So happy. Jiang Xian is a bit jealous. Who made you so happy when I wasn't around? Only you. Only you can make me this happy. I say sweet words without money. I move close to him and kiss him. Jiang Xian has no sense of security. He seems to always doubt that I like him, so I always tell him again and again, in an exaggerated way, that I love him. Such an immature method, yet it always makes Jiang Xian lose his way. Let's take another road. We'll go somewhere else today. Jiang Xian, I'll drive. I didn't even have to navigate. I just parked the car at the community's entrance. A secret base I've been to before with the butler. It's all the items Jiang Xian has collected that are related to me. I thought it was a surprise, but Jiang Xian on the passenger seat looked a bit flustered, even apologized to me. You, how did you know about this place? Did you go in? Are you going to think I'm a pervert? I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Really, I threatened him in a serious manner. I think you'll just find another secret base, collect more of my things, and be even more careful not to let me find out. Jiang Xian, he was exposed by me without mercy. I really like it. Maybe I'm also a bit twisted. I like your intense, headlong love for me. I am Jiang Xian's first. Cheer for me. Be my loyal follower. This feeling of being strongly needed, desired, and cherished, it fascinates me. Jiang Xian, let's have a wedding ceremony again. That night, Jiang Xian was especially excited. I wanted to be crushed and licked into pieces. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Jiang Xian, I still have some old photos, all from when I was a child. The media spoke of this financial genius with a tone of regret. Do you want it? Jiang Xian's eyes lit up, his face full of longing. I want everything about you. I grabbed his face. If you want it, then, don't move anymore.